Chapter 1451, Blue Like Morning Sky. Chapter 1451, Blue Like Morning Sky. The All-Herb mountain ranges had the terrifying explosion again, but there were less cultivators than last time. Long Grave Hill. The first place Hongixin came to after breaking free was here. He hid something here, the Miss Lotus Heart Fire. The main reason was there was a place below here that was suitable for heaven flame growth. If it wasn't that Chu Xiaoyi hunted him too much, he would have long taken this heaven flame already. However, when Chu Xiaoyi sealed him, he didn't get the chance to take the Miss Lotus Heart Fire. There was no one here on a few 100 km radius. This place was very bleak and seemed very cold even during the day. At this moment, there was a sharp howl. Who dares to take my Miss Lotus Heart Fire? I'm going to eat you alive! Hongixin was a rather handsome man, but with this scream, his handsome features became distorted and turned very gruesome. Even the veins were popping out of his head. Of course Yemo didn't know his Miss Lotus Heart Fire belonged to Hongixin, but even if he did, he wasn't going to give it back. Yemo was still very far from the blue sand ditch, but he already felt the intense searing heat. What appeared before him was blue sand for tens of miles. There was a huge ditch in the center of these blue sands. He couldn't scan his spirit sense in at all. The sand around the ditch had been baked to blue ores. These ores seemed very tough. They would be very good forgery materials for high-level forgery masters. The closer he got to the ditch, the higher the temperature, but Yemo wouldn't care about that cultivator. He knew that with this temperature, an ordinary cultivator probably wouldn't turn to gas already. Coming here, he realized why the blue like morning sky was still here despite so many cultivators guessing it was here. If one didn't reach the master state of body refinement, he would never be able to come here. This was only the outskirts of the blue sand ditch too. One could imagine the temperature would go up exponentially as one went in. Maybe one needed 3 king states to go in. Yemo sighed. He knew he was lucky to have come now. If it was last time, he would never be able to come in even with the help of the Golden Page World. The temperature wasn't on par with the void flame breakthrough. It was enough to stop any truth realization state from coming over. The blue sand ditch was bluish-gray. One couldn't scan spirit sense in at all. Even if one didn't use eyes, it was very eye-piercing. If Yemo was still 3 king state body refinement, he really wouldn't dare to jump down. But now that he was God state body refinement, he believed that even if it was blue like morning sky down, it wouldn't be enough to hurt him without human interference. Yemo jumped in without hesitation. Yemo didn't even reach the bottom and that terrifying heat swept over. Yemo used his cultivation essence and God state body refinement. A barrier formed around his body. With such terrifying temperature, he could only feel some temperature. Even so, Yemo was shook at the temperature down air. It was only about 10 meters deep and Yemo reached the bottom already. At the bottom, there was a huge blue boulder that was 50 meters in size. A flame like a lotus petal was jumping around in the center. It was blue on the 4 sides but pale yellow in the center. It was extremely beautiful. It really is blue like morning sky, Yemo called out in shock. He was still extremely shook seeing the blue like morning sky here despite guessing it might be it. The value of blue like morning sky wasn't something ordinary cultivation realm flames could compare, not even Miss Lotus Heart Fire, nor one purple flame. One purple flame was ranked 2nd in the entire cultivation realm but only ranked 11th in the entire 108 types of flames. Miss Lotus Heart Fire was even lower, ranked 17th. But blue like morning sky was different. It was 1st in the cultivation realm and 3rd in all 108 types of flames. It was undoubtedly the king of flames. Plus, it was ranked 3rd not because it's weaker than the 1st and 2nd, but there was no number 1. The number 1 flame was evolved the 2nd to 10th flames devouring things. So, even if your heaven flame reached purple, it was only just the beginning in the battle of flames. Once a flame reached purple, it had to keep devouring materials or evolve through other means. Otherwise, it would only be able to dominate the cultivation realm but not higher realms. This blue like morning sky in front of him was still faint yellow. Clearly, it didn't appear for long. The reason there was a layer of blue on the outside was because it hadn't been spirit-controlled yet. Once it was spirit-control, it would return to being pale yellow and evolve based on the change in color. Yemo also knew that if the blue like morning sky completely blossomed from the blue stone, it would leave and disappear into the void. He came just at the right time. In another few decades, it might have hid itself. As for the blue rock, it was clearly material for breeding for blue like morning sky. There was a huge ditch here, so it was probably an asteroid. A flame that was newly born had such terrifying temperature. One could see how terrifying the blue like morning sky. Yemo had great experience in spirit controlling flames, and he was God's state body refinement. Blue like morning sky was very terrifying for ordinary cultivators, but not enough for Yemo. Perhaps once it was green or aqua color would it pose a threat to him. If he wasn't God's state body refinement, he would set up formations around it, and use a slow method to spirit control it. But now Yemo just grabbed the flame with his hand and enclosed it in his hand. Blue like morning sky seemed to know it was grabbed and released more terrifying heat, but it faced Yemo's hand. Yemo just spat a mouth of essence blood on the blue like morning sky and tried to spirit control it. Yemo truly liked this newly born flame. He spirit controlled it with essence blood so it would be easier to communicate with it in the future. The only two 8-star sects of North Far State was Jade Woman's sect and Wanyu sect. But now, both sects had truth realization state masters. Tang Mengrao and Shan Di both reached truth realization state. Tang Mengrao was in solitary cultivation. She got a lot of pills from Yemo, and her disciple earned a fortune through the gamble at West Extreme State. She was about to break through to truth realization state level 2, but this snage annoyance made her stop solitary cultivation. Before she came out, her disciple Yuchan rushed in. Tang Mengrao had a bad feeling and asked desperately, "Did something happen?" Yuchan nodded nervously. "Yes, Master, the All-Orb mountain ranges exploded again. Then, a few sects in the North Far State were annihilated. Some ordinary cultivation cities don't have a single survivor." Tang Mengrao's head buzzed. She immediately thought of the seal Yemo enforced in there. Was the thing let out? Didn't Yemo say the seal could last another century? "Wanyu sect Marshal Uncle Shan Di is here," Yuchan quickly said, seeing her master still wasn't recovered from the shock. "Wanyu sect Marshal Uncle Shan Di is here," Yuchan quickly said, seeing her master still wasn't recovered from the shock. Tang Mengrao immediately knew that he probably came here because so many sects were annihilated. She couldn't even nod and quickly ran out. When Tang Mengrao saw Shan Di, she couldn't even believe the person before her was Shan Di. He was covered in wounds and didn't even have the mood to recover his wounds. He was like a headless fly walking around in the guest hall. "Sect leader Shan, what happened?" Tang Mengrao asked immediately. "It's 9-headed void devouring bug, I saw it with my own eyes. It already has 3 heads. My Wanyu sect is over, it was completely devoured by that bastard," Shan Di said sadly. "Master, other than Wanyu sect, Lianqing sect, Blue Sea sect, Luo Tan Sword sect were all annihilated for no premonition. Ganyuan City was also devoured," Yuchan whispered quietly to Tang Mengrao. "What?" Tang Mengrao was completely dumbfounded. Tang Mengrao looked at Shan Di and was confused. He encountered a tough guy called Yin Su in the Heartless Sea and ran away. Now, he encountered the 9-headed void devouring bug but could also get away. It seemed he had quite some secrets. "Sect leader Tang, what do we do now? The 9-headed void devouring bug has a master too. I don't think we're a match for him," Shan Di said. Tang Mengrao had completely calmed down now and glanced at Yuchan. "Notify everyone in the sect, we'll be sealing sect temporarily, Marshal Sister Tang." Shan Di looked at Tang Mengrao in confusion and said, "Even if you do, that can't stop the 9-headed void devouring bug. Plus, I suspect the 9-headed void devouring bug master is already truth realization state peak stage. If I was a little closer to him at the time, I wouldn't even have time to activate my mobility technique. I would have died Aurea." Tang Mengrao nodded. You're right, but I didn't seal sect to hide. I have to leave Jade Woman Mountain or my sect would be annihilated too. The entire North Far State is in disaster. Where can we hide? Shandi said and then asked. You're going to Peihai City? Yes, other than Peihai City, there's nowhere we can hide from the nine-headed void-devouring bug, plus a truth realization state peak stage cultivator. Tang Mengrao said without hesitation. Then she added, hiding there is not a solution, only City Lord Yi can deal with the nine-headed void-devouring bug. No one in North Far State can deal with it. You're going to South Peace State to notify City Lord Yi? Shandi asked. Tang Mengrao nodded. I must go. Luckily the Qian Bay and South Peace State are prepared and set up a teleportation formation at Peihai City. Although there's some problems with it, it should be enough to transport me to South Peace State. Shan Di fell silent and nodded. Okay, I received the heritage of Old Man Kong Yi. Even if my sect is annihilated, I need to offer my strength for North Far State. Go South Peace State. I will try my best to protect Peihai City. Tang Mengrao nodded. Peihai City is different. Even if that cultivator is truth realization state peak stage, and has a nine-headed void-devouring bug he might not be able to break in. Peihai has consecutive level 9 defense formation and attack formation. By the time he breaks in, I would be back with Yemo from South Peace State. In the West Extreme State Sand Bitch, Yemo kept spirit controlling blue like morning sky. The temperature outside it gradually lowered and the blue color dimmed. Eventually, there was only the bake stones outside. The instant he was about to spirit control blue like morning sky, the blue color he had spirit controlled suddenly exploded, forming a vibrant blue around Yemo, and this blue shot into the sky. But Yemo was completely mesmerized by the blue like morning sky in his hands. He didn't notice the blue color at all. Yemo reached out his hand and a flower like yellow flame appeared in his hand. This was the blue like morning sky. It was like a young girl that was about to marry and jumped around happily in his hand. This trip was too worth, Yemo exclaimed. If he didn't come here, this blue like morning sky definitely wouldn't be his. If one wanted results, one had to go try. His Miss Lotus Heart fire was powerful, but compared to some more powerful heaven flame, it was a little lacking. Blue like morning sky was different, it was a truly powerful heaven flame. The instant Yemo took control of blue like morning sky, the blue layer completely shot out, but Yemo was immersed in his joy that he didn't notice. All the cultivators in Sand River were looking at the blue color in shock. Some experienced cultivators shouted out in shock. Blue like morning sky has come to the world. It's said that when blue like morning sky comes to the world, the entire cultivation realm would be blue. This was a little exaggerated, but now, the huge Sand River was completely covered in this blue color. Almost instantly, everyone realized what was going on. There was only one possibility, blue sand ditch. At that moment, countless cultivators swarmed towards the blue sand ditch. They wouldn't be able to get blue like morning sky, but there was countless blue sand ores around it. That was top-grade forgery materials. It was better to collect that than searching for those immortal crystal shards. Blue like morning sky. Xie Jingshi looked at the direction of the blue sand ditch in shock. He long knew it was blue like morning sky there, but even with his truth realization state peak stage power he couldn't get near there. Now that the sky was blue, it only meant that someone took blue like morning sky. Xie Jingshi charged Vo like crazy. The reason he stayed here and didn't immortal ascension was mostly due to him wanting to take blue like morning sky. Yemo sat outside the blue sand ditch. He even took the meteor that bore the blue like morning sky. He felt it was no simple thing. At this moment, the blue color had receded. Yemo was pondering if he should get some more spirit herbs from Jiao Huanjin when multiple dazzling lights came. Yemo immediately realized that him taking blue like morning sky was known by everyone. Although he didn't fear anyone, he didn't want everyone to know about blue like morning sky. So he released Blue Moon and disappeared. As soon as Yemo left, a few cultivators came around air. They immediately knew blue like morning sky was taken away, otherwise the temperature wouldn't be this normal. But soon, they put that aside and joined the frenzy collecting blue sand ores. By the time Xie got here, even the sandstones were taken clean. At the entrance to Demon Lands, Li Chantian didn't leave. Quan Lan, Mu Feihuan, and Wei Lafeng didn't leave as well. They asked the 5 cultivators and knew Yemo came from the Demon Lands. As the West Extreme State Masters, they really want to know what's going on inside there, but no one can go in and come back out alive. Now that Yemo came from inside there, they could only ask Yemo. They didn't know where to find Yemo, so they might as well wait for Yemo here. When the blue light shone over the entire Sand River, these people immediately knew that Yemo came to take blue like morning sky. There was a bitter smile on their face. Blue like morning sky belonged to the West Extreme State, but Yemo took it away. When they saw Yemo later, they wouldn't even be able to ask. Thus, none of them spoke and acted dumb. Yemo's blue moon was astoundingly fast. In 1 day's time he came back to the Demon Lands entrance. "What are you guys doing here?" He was confused. Even if they joined forces, he could easily kill them all. "Brother Yi." These people were all silent, but Li Changtian said, "Demon Lands is the most terrifying place in West Extreme State. Never has a cultivator gone in and come back out. Brother Yi came out from there. I really want to ask about the situation. If we go in, would there be danger?" "Brother Yi." These people were all silent, but Li Changtian said, "Demon Lands is the most terrifying place in West Extreme State. Never has a cultivator gone in and come back out. Brother Yi came out from there. I really want to ask about the situation. If we go in, would there be danger?" So this was it. It was fine telling them about it, so Yemo nodded. "There's a lot of evil spirits and demonic spirits inside. Ordinary cultivators will die for sure inside. I have Miss Lotus Heart Fire, and it's very high level, so I'm not afraid of them. If you don't have high level Heaven Flame, it's very dangerous to go inside. Pil King Yi, may I ask where the Demon Lands lead to?" Mu Feihuan asked the question everyone wanted to know. Yemo nodded. "It leads directly to South Peace State Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. It takes me half a month to get to South Peace State from here, maybe even faster. This distance is so much shorter than going by the Heartless Sea. There's a river near this entrance. I guess it might be the Abyssal River. I don't know where that leads to." Yemo estimated with his own time. He didn't use the full speed of Blue Moon the whole journey. But if he went back at full speed, he would reach South Peace State in less than 10 days. "Abyssal River is indeed below," Wei Lanfeng blurted out. Quan Lan suddenly said, "I have a guess, but I'm not sure. I'll have to know after going down and seeing." Quan Lan then said politely to Yemo, "Pil King Yi, I thought I was top-grade power in the cultivation realm, but now I realize I'm a frog at the bottom of a well. In terms of power, I'm far weaker than you. However, the Demon Lands concerns the future of our West Extreme State. We're all about to immortal ascension. After we do and something happens at the Demon Lands, there would be nothing West Extreme State can do. So I want to ask Pil King Yi to take us down there to see the danger there and if it would threaten West Extreme State." All the other cultivators clearly thought the same too. Yemo didn't mind. "Of course, but after I reach the Abyssal River crossroads, I'm going to South Peace State. So I won't be coming back with you guys." Yemo's intention was clear. When you guys went back, whether you live or die has nothing to do with me. Wei Lanfeng heard Yemo was level 9 Pil King and wanted to connect to him. He quickly went up and saluted with his fists. "Of course, Pil King Yi. You're level 9 Pil King, so ordinary spirit herbs are useless to you. The Endless Forest has plentiful of spirit herbs. Here's some high-level spirit herbs. This is our gratitude to you for leading the way." He immediately gave a storage ring to Yemo. He saw Yemo could give up Blue Sword for spirit herb. He immediately knew that spirit herb were very important to him. Yemo took it since it was given, of course. After he scanned with spirit sense, he was shook. Clearly, Wei Lanfeng selected them meticulously. There were level 9 spirit herb Sha fruit and truth spirit grass. These were the main ingredients for Disaster Life Pill and Truth Spirit Pill, and there were quite a lot of them. This was a huge gift. Yemo took the storage ring and thought for a moment, and gave him 2 jade bottles. Thanks, your spirit herbs is very useful to me. I have some pills for you too. MOU City lacks spirit herbs for development. These high-level spirit herbs were very rare. How could Yemo not take them? Disaster Life Pill, Truth Realization Pill. Wei Lan Feng called out in shock. Spirit herbs didn't equal to pills. Without a level 9 pill king, these level 9 spirit herbs could only be eaten raw. The effects would be greatly diminished. Pills were much more precious than spirit herbs. He really didn't to receive such return after giving out some spirit herbs. Li Changtian and Quan Lan couldn't bear to watch anymore. They quickly took out the spirit herbs they had on them and traded with Yemo. Yemo accepted all. The pills could increase the power of West Extreme State, while the spirit herb would also be able to increase the power of South Peace State. After this round of exchange, everyone was happy. Yemo got large sums of level 9 spirit herbs while the West Extreme State people got the pills they wanted. After Quan Lan and them followed Yemo into the Demon Lands, they realized why Yemo wasn't afraid of the evil spirits in here at all. With Yemo's Heaven Flame 9 sons, evil spirits couldn't even get close. All they did was run away. Due to this, everyone saw just how much evil spirits there was. They were like a black mist. Wei Lan Feng immediately stopped and saluted with his fists. I won't go, without a doubt, there would only be more of those things the further inside we go. I don't have Pill King Ye's rare flame cultivation method. On the way back I won't be able to get away. Everyone realized this too. Yemo could dominate here because he had Heaven Flame 9 sons. If Yemo left, what would they rely on staying alive? Seeing everyone look at him, Yemo understood what they wanted. He nodded. Okay, in that case, I'll send you guys out. One was because they didn't go very far, and second was because Yemo got large sums of high-level spirit herbs from them. When they were back at the entrance again, Quan Lan said, Pill King Yi, thank you for sending us out despite the past conflicts. I suspect that the 2 sides of the Abyssal River leads to East Black State and North Far State. But I'm too weak to go inside. If Pill King Yi has spare time, you can go in and try. Perhaps it would be just as quick to go to the other states as South Peace State. Quan Lan really wanted to go to East Black State once before she ascended, but flying across the Heartless Sea wasted too much time. This was the second time Yemo stood at the Abyssal River. It was calm just like when he came before and the countless evil spirits were gone. He hesitated if he should go along here to visit North Far State. His arrangement with Silver Moon Pill King was half a year or longer. Now was still very early. Yemo thought for a while and couldn't resist going north along the Abyssal River. If it was similar distance as here to South Peace State, then he should arrive in 5 or 6 days if he went full speed. The main thing was that Yemo was in North Far State and he hadn't been able to find her. The Abyssal River water was calm, but it was very dark. Even Yemo's spirit sense couldn't skin very deep. Yemo was desperate to go back to North Far State, and so despite knowing that the Abyssal River wasn't simple. So, Yemo flew faster and faster above the Abyssal River. At the start there were some fine sands and black rocks on the 2 sides, but after flying for a day, it was just mist. It was very obscure even scanning with spirit sense. The only thing was that this river got wider and wider. From the initial 100 meters to now almost 1 kilometer wide. Yemo had the premonition that he would reach North Far State in 3 to 5 days. It's only been half of the 3rd day and Blue Moon suddenly sunk. There was a huge suction force from the Abyssal River. Blue Moon was sucked to the surface and suddenly, there was a huge 100-meter-tall black wave that wanted to drown Blue Moon. Yemo had been through so much that these sudden attacks weren't very strange to him. The instant Blue Moon touched the river surface, Yemo hacked over with spirit sense blades. Yemo had been through so much that these sudden attacks weren't very strange to him. The instant Blue Moon touched the river surface, Yemo hacked over with spirit sense blades. At the same time, he felt Blue Moon been relieved and stabilized at the top of the huge wave. Suddenly, the river calmed down, He almost would have thought he was hallucinating if he didn't see the ripples in the water. Yemo put away Blue Moon and released Zisu. He didn't suffer from the ambush, but it made him extremely unhappy. His spirit sense couldn't scan into the river, but Yemo used illusion cloud formation kill strike. A huge purple sword rays sliced out a sword veil that was 300 meter long and 100 meter wide that shot into the river. Rumble. There was a terrifying explosion above the river. It seemed the river just lost a box of water. The water splashed out, and Yemo realized that the water wasn't black, it was dark gray. Because Yemo hacked so fast, water didn't have time to refill back into the river, and thus the river appeared to have a huge ditch in its surface. Rumble. The water splashed back. Yemo stood above in the air and didn't keep attacking. Just then, he clearly saw a huge stone platform below the river. It seemed ancient, as though it had been through countless ages, but Yemo could only see one corner of that platform. Yemo stood for a moment, and then took out formation flag, setting up a formation here. That stone platform was eerie. Yemo really wanted to know what it was for. Plus, the power that ambushed him came from the stone platform. A day later, a level 9 water separation formation was set up. As Yemo threw out the main formation flag, the calm surface suddenly split in the middle as though being cut in half. This time, the water didn't come back and quickly retreated to the two sides. The rumbling continued for 15 minutes until the river was forcefully parted by Yemo. Some evil spirits wanted to interfere but were instantly vaporized by Heaven Flame 9 Suns. After the rumbling sound, the abyssal river was separated of an area 10 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide. This section of the abyssal river completely exposed in front of Yemo. There was the familiar sense of chaos that Yemo felt. Yemo had the golden page world and it was a chaos object. Yemo had an instinctive feeling that there was a chaos item here. An ancient stone platform that was 100 meters in radius was completely exposed before Yemo. In the middle was a huge 8 trigram disc. Seal flag disc? Yemo called out in shock. You know quite a lot, this is indeed a seal flag. A sound suddenly appeared by Yemo's ear. Yemo was shook and an octagonal cauldron appeared above his head. He asked heavily, Who is it? Yemo looked calm, but he was actually extremely shook. With his power and spirit sense, he couldn't find where this person was. His spirit sense scanned out, but before he could completely search this place, a figure suddenly appeared before Yemo. It was an extremely skinny middle-aged man. He stared coldly at Yemo. He said coldly again, Breaking the West Extreme State and South Peace State seal flag, making the chi of Luo Yu continent spill, and you even took one of my 8 trigram seal flag disc. On top of that, you killed countless sand soul beasts and setting up a level 9 water separation formation to reveal the platform. He grunted and said again, You're a prodigy I've never seen before. Even in the countless magnificent cultivators in the immortal realm, I've never seen one who can match you. I believe you must have a lot of secrets on you. Otherwise, you wouldn't reach such absurd extent. Yemo didn't speak, he was still in shock. He could see the power level of this cultivator, he was far beyond truth realization state peak stage. Meaning that he was a level higher than truth realization state peak stage. There were countless questions in his head. Those sand soul beasts were kept by this person? In that case, why didn't he stop him when he killed them? Judging by his words, he was also responsible for suppressing immortal ascension from Luo Yu continent. Why did he do this? Since he did, why was he still at the bottom of this river? He also seemed to know everything he did, just what power level was he? You're not truth realization state cultivator, Yemo suddenly said. The skinny man looked at Yemo in shock. You can see my power level? You're indeed not truth realization state cultivator. Yemo panted. It was probably this guy who ambushed him. Seeing that this man had no intentions of attacking, Yemo asked again. Your power is beyond truth realization state. Why can you still stay in the cultivation realm? Yemo knew that truth realization state cultivators can't stay in the cultivation realm for long after reaching immortal ascension state. This was the law of the universe. When your power was beyond what was permitted by this law, you wouldn't be able to stay under the law unless you controlled the law. But controlling the laws of the heavens and earth, that was a joke, at least to Emo it was. However, this man replied calmly, "When you're at my power level and at my place, you will know that you can't immortal ascension as well. There's something wrong with this dimension?" Emo immediately asked. The skinny man said calmly, "No, the laws of the heavens and earth has been changed. Anyone below hollow immortal can't immortal ascension. Not only can you not immortal ascension, but you also can't leave through abyssal river, you will know in the future. Your hollow immortal power indeed. This means you've been to the immortal realm, right?" Emo asked in shock. He actually encountered an immortal who couldn't leave at the bottom of the abyssal river. "That's right, I've been to the immortal realm. In a few hundred years, I would be able to return there, but because of you, I might never be able to return. Tell me, how should I repay you?" The middle-aged man stared coldly at Emo. Emo regained his composure. This was too eerie, but it also seemed that this man didn't stay here of his own accord. He was probably bound here by someone else. Who did it? What was the purpose of binding a hollow immortal here? "When I was passing by, you purposely attacked and drew me down here, right?" Emo asked. The man said expressionlessly, "That's right, since you destroyed my path, I'm going to keep you here to make up for your sins. I'm going to mark your soul and you will do things for me and then come back." Emo suddenly thought of the ancient chaos chi. He could still feel it now. "You're guarding something here, right?" Emo said and suddenly realized. Chaos items were more precious than the 10 great spirit items. The reason he locked the Immortal Ascension tunnel here was because he didn't want to spill the chaos chi bringing over powerful beings in the immortal realm. The middle-aged man stared at Emo in shock. "You're indeed smart, you can guess that I'm guarding something here." The middle-aged man stared at Emo in shock. "You're indeed smart, you can guess that I'm guarding something here." But Emo still asked in confusion. "You know I killed those sand soul beasts, but you're guarding something here. Why are you still keeping them? After you finish your mission, are you not going to ascend to the immortal realm but instead dominate Luoyu continent?" The middle-aged man seemed to think Emo couldn't escape from him, and said after some silence, "I didn't keep those sand soul beasts and evil spirits. My mission is just to stay and guard the platform. Everything else has nothing to do with me." "Do you think that many sand soul beasts are needed to dominate Luoyu continent?" the middle-aged man said coldly, seeing Emo starting to contemplate again. Emo agreed to this. With that many sand soul beasts, it was enough to annihilate the entire Luoyu continent a few times. Annihilate all Luoyu continent cultivators? Emo was scared by this crazy idea, but then he immediately realized his idea was not impossible. If all those sand soul beasts left the forbidden grounds, how could the cultivators of Luoyu continent not be slaughtered clean? Thinking about this, Emo's mind cleared up. A powerful being in the immortal realm sealed the cake's treasure here. As for why he didn't take it to the immortal realm, he was probably scared of being caught with it. This powerful being knew that if the chi spilled, everyone would go crazy for it. Thus, he sealed it in the cultivation realm and sealed the immortal ascension tunnel. As for those sand soul beasts, it was really probably to slaughter all of the cultivators on Luoyu continent. After all, if the space seal disappeared, then the Luoyu continent cultivators would be able to ascend to the immortal realm. Then, the fact that they couldn't immortal ascension would be brought up, and the immortal realm might send people down here to check. Then, they might find this chaos item. So, after the powerful being takes the item, he might really annihilate the entire Luoyu continent. Emo was scared by his conjecture. This was too absurd, but it wasn't impossible. "You ruined most of Master's plan. Stay and help Master finish the rest, and you may be spared." The middle-aged man continued. Emo sneered. There was no way he was going to do that. "It's probably your master who stopped the immortal ascension here, right? You want me to reseal it, right? Those sand soul beasts are to annihilate the entire Luoyu continent, right?" The middle-aged man stared at Emo in shock. "No wonder you can reach truth realization state level 7 at such a young age. You're much smarter than ordinary people, but my master didn't seal the immortal ascension here. My master just set up seal flags that block the calling of immortal ascension. Now that you damaged the seal flags, the cultivators can sense the calling of immortal ascension. Seeing that Emo was dubious, the man continued. Plus, it's not just Luoyu continent that can't immortal ascension, the nearby cultivation realms also can't. Emo thought of Fangizong, the Black Rock City cultivators. They didn't come from Luoyu continent, but they also couldn't immortal ascension. Then how come people can immortal ascension after I broke the seal flag? Emo definitely didn't believe those flags just blocked the immortal ascension calling. He was a level 9 formation grandmaster. He knew clearly that it stopped cultivators from immortal ascension. The middle-aged man also frowned and said after a moment, "It's probably because the immortal ascension tunnel was opened by someone else." Thus, when you damage the seal flag, the cultivators sense immortal ascension calling. The middle-aged man seemed to be very patient talking with Emo, probably because he hadn't spoken to anyone for a long time. After he answered all those questions, the middle-aged man said, "I've let you know what you should. Now open your soul and let me make a mark. Then do as I tell you and seal those seal flags. I believe if you do these, Master will let you go." Emo looked at the man pitifully. "To be honest, I'm not scared of you. The reason I'm speaking with you is because I feel you're very pitiful. I can tell you for sure that the seal flags didn't just seal the calling to immortal ascension, it also stopped immortal ascension itself. Believe it or not, up to you. Your master used all means necessary to stop Luoyu cultivators from immortal ascension and is even willing to slaughter the entire continent. Do you think he would let you go in the future? You're naive like a fool." The middle-aged man heard this and dazed. After a while, he murmured, "Impossible, this is impossible. He swore to me, cultivators can't just make oath casually." He swore? Emo was confused. Cultivators couldn't just make simple oaths. Unless it was some extremely powerful cultivator, ordinary cultivators would go through heart demon crisis if they didn't follow their oath. Seeing Emo dazed, the middle-aged man sneered, "You wanted to alienate me and Master." Emo sneered, "I would have the time to do that. Don't think of yourself too highly." The man suddenly grabbed at Emo. "Since you don't want to open up your soul, then I'll force a mark on you." The middle-aged man just grabbed casually, but Emo felt all the space nearby squeeze at him. This wasn't domain. Emo was shook. This the pressure of spirit chi. Hollow immortal cultivator was this powerful? Emo hacked out with Zisu using illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike at full power. Thud. Sword and palm struck each other, rattling the space here. Some purple sword rays even sliced out black crevices. At the same time of the collision, Emo felt a powerful concussion. He really wanted to stop himself, but he still flew back, smashing into the level 9 water separation formation. His dantian rustled and Emo almost spat a mouthful of blood. The next moment, Emo immediately flew up. He knew he was no match for this person. But then, Emo immediately felt a powerful pressure. He was sealed in this space. He set up this water separation formation, but he couldn't go out. Emo realized, when he came into the river, he was already under this man's control. No wonder he wasn't scared that he would get away. He intentionally let him set up the formation, or he wouldn't be able to do it at all. Emo knew that Hollow Immortal must be a huge level above truth realization state, but he didn't expect the gap to be this huge. He couldn't get away, so Emo stopped. Even if he had to fight with his life, it didn't mean he would lose to this guy. He had so many means he hadn't used yet. This Hollow Immortal was more shocked than Emo. He knew Emo was powerful, or he wouldn't be able to slaughter a few 100 million sand soul beasts. That kitchen knife of his is very extraordinary. He didn't expect to be injured by it. He looked at his bloodied hand. He suddenly felt much more sober. He had stayed here for countless years, unable to cultivate. He could only just sit here. The thing he didn't want to think of the most was why he stayed here. Emo saw this Hollow Immortal just look at his palm and have no intention of fighting, so he stopped. He was thinking of how he could kill this Hollow Immortal. The hollow immortal cultivator suddenly looked at Emo. Do you know my power level? Yes, you're a hollow immortal cultivator. Emo was confused why this guy asked something irrelevant. The middle-aged man nodded. That's right, I'm a hollow immortal cultivator, but I, Xingshin, am no ordinary hollow immortal cultivator. I rarely have a match in the same cultivation level. You can injure me with one strike, meaning that with your power, you can kill ordinary hollow immortal. So I know there's no need for you to alienate me. He paused and said again. Master told me like this at the time. If Chengxing can keep his oath and stay in the cultivation realm for 12,000 years guarding all of the abyssal riverstone platform, I, Lu Jingchuan, will never harm him at all. If I disobey this oath, I will be struck by lightning and lose my soul under the divine damnation, never to have a second chance again. He then stared at Emo and asked, Do you think there's a problem with this oath? Emo heard this and immediately sneered. You're really an idiot. There's a few problems with the oath and only you would believe it. Emo heard this and immediately sneered. You're really an idiot. There's a few problems with the oath and only you would believe it. What problem? The cultivator's face changed. He clearly realized there was a problem with this oath, but he didn't know where the problem was. Speaking with Qingxing for so long, Emo knew this guy was no evil person and was even too honest. But indeed, that powerful being wouldn't pick a dodgy person to guard this priceless treasure. Emo didn't answer directly and instead asked, The thing you're guarding is very significant, right? Or perhaps only after 12,000 years could it be taken from here? Changxing nodded. That's right, so I need to wait till 12,000 later, he would come and take it, then I can return to the immortal realm. Emo said in contempt. What if you left after 11,999 years? Chengxing rebuked. Impossible, I would never leave before 12,000 years. If I don't leave, no one can force me. Oh, were you sealed here by yourself? Emo asked again. No. Chengxing shook his head. Then what if the sealing dimension binding you here disappears? What would happen to you? Ascend immediately. What if before 12,000 years, this seal suddenly disappeared? Can you still stay here? I can't. Qingxing's face seemed extremely bad. But he still said, He wouldn't be like this, he made an oath. Emo sneered. Someone who can annihilate the cultivators of an entire cultivation realm would do this. Are you cheating yourself? Plus, he doesn't even need to add the time frame of 12,000 years. He just needs to say that you will guard this thing for him, and when he comes your mission would be over. Chengxing's face grew more pale. Emo then said coldly, There's another loophole to this oath. Even if you stuck to the 12,000 th year, you would still be dead for sure. Box Novel Koem, he looked at Emo and didn't have the mood to care about the second loophole. Since that person intentionally left loophole, it meant he wanted him dead. That person swore, he, Lu Zihengchuan, wouldn't harm you at all, but what if someone else came and harmed you? Hearing this, Qingxing completely realized he was used for more than 10,000 years. Lu Jingchuan, you're such a high-up figure, but you trick someone with no fame like me. I hate you. Changxing gritted his teeth. Emo looked at him in confusion. What are you hating about? I'm a level 9 formation Grandmaster. I'm going to go out. After I break the binding space, you can leave? When you reach the immortal realm, you can find a place to cultivate and bid your time to get revenge? Qingxing clutched his head painfully. You don't understand, I don't have a chance for revenge. I'm certain that if I am mortal ascension, I would be controlled immediately. You haven't been to the immortal realm, you don't know how powerful he is. And I would bring trouble to my sect. He fell into a long silence before looking up at Emo. Friend, I want you to help me. I'm dead for sure, I can't leave here at all, and I can't ascend into the immortal realm. So, one day when you ascend into the immortal realm, please bring a message for me to Extreme Wind Heaven, Void Lake Sect. Then, he shook his head. Never mind, even if I tell the sect, it would just bring trouble. Plus, you would never be able to leave here. Emo shook his head. This Qingxing was so hesitant and indecisive. No wonder he would be schemed. But Yemo didn't believe that there was no chance he could leave here. He even left the void fissure. How could this space binding confine him? I'm definitely not going to let Lu Jingchuan take this. I'm going to self-destruct now. I can only say sorry to you. Although I shouldn't have tricked you down here, but even if I don't self-destruct, you still won't be able to leave. When Lu Jingchuan comes, you would be dead for sure. Qingxing said. Yemo waved his hand. Wait, I'm going to take the thing you're guarding first. Plus, I haven't found a way out yet. There was no way Yemo could help him. He might as well get the chaos item away first. Qingxing shook his hand. You don't need to look for an exit. Even if you try countless years here, you won't be able to leave. Do you know the power of Lu Jingchuan? Perhaps if you cultivate for another few 100,000 years, you might reach 1/10 of his power level. As for that thing, don't even think about it. Even if you can go out, you would die for sure having that thing. Even if Lu Jingchuan doesn't kill you, others will. Even with Lu Jingchuan's terrifying power and status, he doesn't dare to keep that thing by his side. Yemo still wanted to persuade Qingxing, but his power completely burst out. The entire riverbed space was shaking with this. The power of hollow immortal self-destruct was very powerful indeed. Yemo knew it was impossible to stop the self-destruct with his current power. He cursed this Qingxing for being an idiot. He could die himself, but he wouldn't even let him take the chaos item. What a bastard. He couldn't even take his storage ring. Space went chaotic. Yemo knew that if he stayed here, he would be asking to die. Yemo went into the golden page world without hesitation. Qingxing saw Yemo suddenly completely disappear before him. He dazed, but before he could understand, his body completely exploded apart. Rumble. A terrifying explosion sounded. The stone platform was blasted apart. Even though Qingxing stayed at the cultivation realm for countless years, his immortal essence was still very powerful. Yemo's level 9 formation tore apart like paper. A hollow immortal self-destruction probably wouldn't cause a ripple in space in the immortal realm, but in the cultivation realm, it was truly astonishing. Water filled the place immediately. Yemo threw out a surveillance formation. The explosion disappeared and only a split-apart stone platform remained. There was still not a drop of water around there. Yemo immediately knew that the space below it was probably sealed too. Yemo appeared on the platform. Qingxing was gone, but Yemo found in surprise that the space started to loosen. This meant that he could go out. This also proved his guess was right. This space ceiling would definitely loosen before 12,000 years. But pity, that chaos item was destroyed by the self-destruction. Yemo shook his head and wanted to leave, but suddenly, he saw a semi-circle transparent restriction below the platform. There was an inch-tall sapling. Was this the thing that emitted chaos chi? Yemo looked at this sapling. It was more like a sprouted herb. Yemo really couldn't connect this herb to a chaos treasure, but it emitted the chaos chi. No matter what, he would take it first. The restriction was tough, but after Qingxing's self-destruction and Yemo's expertise in formation and restriction, it was removed quickly. Yemo dug out the earth near the sapling and sent it all to the Golden Page World. Other people couldn't have this, but he could. Golden Page World was a chaos item itself. Other than him, no one could send his spirit sense inside. Yemo immediately felt the chaos chi here disappear. Then, he hacked with Zisu and the space binding was dissipated. River water splashed back and filling the place. At this moment, Yemo stood above the river but didn't leave immediately. He started to take his formation flags. After all that, Yemo released Blue Moon and disappeared. In the depth of the Ice God Palace, a blue-dressed young girl scurried along a pebble-stone path to a room on the right. In the depth of the Ice God Palace, a blue-dressed young girl scurried along a pebble-stone path to a room on the right. Before she got to the door opened. A yellow-robed girl waved to her at the door, signaling the blue-dressed girl to hurry. When the blue-dressed girl went in, the yellow-robed girl hurriedly used a few formation flags and asked worriedly, "What happened, Ting Ting? Why did I hear that the palace lord almost killed you today?" "Sister Chi, keep your voice low." the blue-robed girl said worriedly. It's fine, this is the restriction formation disc my master gave me, no one would be able to hear it. Just what happened, I'm so worried, Chi-Chi said again. The palace lord left and gave over management to me and the big elder. Sister Chi-Chi, what do we do? Ting-Ting patted her chest and said. Chi-Chi frowned. Ting-Ting, tell me first, why did the palace lord want to kill you? Ting-Ting collected her thoughts before saying. The maid Xiao Ji who guarded the soul cards, so second young master Lang Yu's soul card shatter. What? Lang Yu is dead? Chi-Chi asked in shock. Ting-Ting nodded. Yes, palace lord wants to kill Xiao Ji. I begged for mercy and I almost angered the palace lord, Chi-Chi said angrily. They don't treat weaker cultivators here like human, they have no human rights at all. Sister Chi-Chi, keep quiet, if people hear us, we're over. I heard that palace lord said she and big elder might immortal ascension. After they left I will be the palace lord, I'm definitely going to change this rule. Ting-Ting added. Is this real? Chi-Qi asked happily. Ting-Ting nodded. The palace lord told the other elders to help me, so don't get too happy. My authority will be limited, Chi-Chi said in contempt. You're really dumb, those truth realization state elders aren't interested in the Ice God Palace authority at all. They just care about cultivation and resource. We're young, but where do we come from? The birthplace of political fighting. Simply put, draw close, separate them and strike them individually, but most importantly, we have to improve our own power. What do you mean? Ting-Ting asked. You're really, draw close to those powerful cultivators, open up cultivation resource. Don't be stingy with that. These cultivators don't refer to the truth realization state elders but the middle class. You must be respectful to those truth realization state elders before your power reach a certain level. Meanwhile, find opportunities to make the truth realization state elders have bad impressions of the two sons. Meanwhile, create conflict between the two sons and the people loyal to them. Then, use the opportunities to strike some weaker cultivators who support those two. Chi-Chi said. Ting-Ting looked at Chi-Chi in shock. Sister Chi-Chi, you've really changed a lot. Chi-Chi sighed. This is all forced. If I don't change, I die. I don't have Brother Lin's power, otherwise, once you become Palace Lord, you can do what you want. Sigh, Brother Lin is even weaker than us here. He cultivates ancient martial arts, we are immortal cultivators. Ting-Ting sighed. I just want to find my mum, but I still don't know how she is, I'm really worried. Clearly, these two girls were from Earth. Ting-Ting was Yun Bing's daughter and Chi-Chi was Ning's sister and Ji-Chi. They were rather lucky. As soon as they came to South Peace State, they were chosen by Ice God Palace. However, Yun Bing didn't come with them. Ting-Ting's talent was very absurd, and with her beauty, she was favored by the Palace Lord and became the young Palace Lord. Chi-Chi sneered. What is there to worry about? Palace Lord Yin controls all the power. Her two other useless sons might not come back to like the second son. I'm just Golden Core State, and you're just Nascent Soul State. We're too weak. When our power is up, we can decide whatever. Yemo flew rapidly on the way. This time he didn't encounter anything at the Abyssal River. In a short 2 days, the Abyssal River ended. Yemo landed. He didn't know if this was North Far State, but he didn't see the sand stairway like in the South Peace State and West Extreme State. Yemo searched carefully nearby with his spirit sense. Half an hour later, Yemo finally found a stealth formation. He was certain that even if Quan Lan came, she wouldn't be able to find this stealth formation unless the person was a level 9 formation grandmaster like him. There was an exit seal in the stealth formation, but Yemo didn't break it. He didn't need to break it to go out. He just threw down a few formation flags and easily left. Water flowed in from all directions and Yemo separated the water from him with cultivation essence. He knew he appeared below water again. The water here didn't seem to very deep. When he submerged out, he was dazed. He was familiar with this place, he had been here before. It was Dual Heart Valley, Dual Heart Lake, the place where Hai Tong stayed. It was the most beautiful location in the Dual Heart Valley. Yemo didn't expect this place would lead to the Abyssal River. Thinking about Hai Tong, he thought of Ao Qiandai. I wonder what happened to that woman. Yemo said, and then had decided to check on Hai Tong first before seeing if he could annihilate the thing sealed at the All-Her mountain ranges. Yemo believed his current power would only be higher than Chu Xiaoi. With his expertise in formation and seals, he had to try no matter what. His MOU and Yemo were all in North Far State. He couldn't feel secure having a disaster that could break loose at any time. But when Yemo released his spirit sense, he dazed. Hai Tong's residence was demolished, the entire valley was demolished. Yemo immediately realized that Dual Heart Valley was annihilated. Not a single cultivator remained. Who had the power to do this? He and Tang Mengrao came here before, and this would be advertised out by the sect. Now that they were still annihilated, it meant that the culprits didn't fear him and Tang Mengrao. Who was it? Even if he wasn't here, did they not fear the Jade Woman's sect? It's an 8-star sect. Yemo was certain that Wang Yu sect wouldn't do this, purely because Shan Di didn't dare to. Yemo flew into the air and felt the strangeness of space here. It didn't seem to flow smoothly, it was as though it was broken and then filled. Yemo immediately thought of the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Only it had the gift of devouring space. Only an extremely powerful cultivator would notice devoured space, and Yemo was that cultivator. How can there be that here? Yemo released Blue Moon and disappeared. Yemo immediately flew to the All-Herb mountain ranges. If no one touched the seal, it should remain intact for 100 years. The tunnel was still shut, but when Yemo saw his spirit sense could scan into the hexagonal hall without resistance, his face changed. Yemo's face was really bad as he stood inside the collapsed hexagonal hall. The marks were fresh. Yemo's face was really bad as he stood inside the collapsed hexagonal hall. The marks were fresh. Yemo scanned around and saw half of a necklace. Yemo picked it up. It was half of the necklace Chu Xiaoi left behind. It was exactly the same, and Yemo thought of Ao Qiandai immediately. Hai Tong said this was very important to Ao Qiandai. This meant that Ao Qiandai came here and something happened. Yemo picked up this half of the necklace and flung his hand out. The block tunnel were opened. The hall with the fake orbs were still there. Yemo passed it and saw the space behind. It looked very ordinary now. Yemo instantly came to the ceiling sacrificial platform. The seal was indeed broken. The thing that was sealed had left. Yemo thought of the necklace and immediately knew that it definitely had something to do with Ao Qiandai. She was a mad woman. She could bring a beast hide to attack North Far State. What else couldn't she do? She was not only crazy but also dumb. She didn't even know what was sealed here. If she was devoured by the 9-headed void-devouring bug, then it served her right. Hello, little thing, long time no see. I knew you were no ordinary thing before, and now indeed you came here. A voice suddenly appeared behind Yemo. Yemo turned around and looked at this young cultivator. Shui Yufeng, long time no see, you found yourself a good-looking body. Box Novel Koem. Your truth realization state tertiary stage. How is that possible? Shui Yufeng said bitterly. Shui Yufeng's face burst red, and replied, even if I'm cauldron-filling state, I won't be weaker than you. If I abandon this body, I can still kill you. Oh, Yemo said casually, and suddenly rose his power. Space immediately condensed with this. This was his domain. He didn't use cultivation essence, it was his will. Shui Yufeng dazed, and before he could react, Yemo's cultivation essence giant hand grabbed over and flung him up like a chicken. Then, he said calmly, Shui Yufeng, I really want to know how you are going to kill me by giving up your body. You! Shui Yufeng's face burst red, but he couldn't say a thing. Yemo casually threw him down and said slowly, I would have killed you long time ago if you didn't guard this seal for so many years. Shui Yufeng stared at Yemo in shock. Your power has surpassed Chu Xiaoi. How is that possible? Yemo just asked. Did you break the seal? Shui Yufeng immediately cried out. God knows which bastard did it. I've guarded the seal for so many years, how can I do that? If I wanted to do this, I wouldn't wait till now. For this seal, I was stressed every day. He sneaked a glance at Emo. Seeing that Emo still didn't talk, Shui Yufeng didn't dare to keep bullshitting and smiled. You know, I treated you quite well. I gave you the tail feather of the golden perch and the 5-element mobility. Emo sneered. Why don't you say you gave me a bottle of heaven glory pill? Before he didn't know if there was a problem with the pill, but now that he was truth realization state and level 9 pill king, he immediately knew the problem with it. There was a spirit sense inside, and if he ate it, the spirit sense chi would stick to him. Shui Yufeng smiled awkwardly. Look, I like your personality, and I was scared I wouldn't be able to see you again. Plus, it's just a spirit sense chi, you can remove it in a second with your current power. Emo asked again. What are you doing back here? Quite coincidental, as soon as the seal broke you came back here. Shui Yufeng quickly explained again. This really has nothing to do with me. You know the jade slip I left behind. I wanted to take something I forgot to take before seeing that the seal is broken. What is it? Emo knew that this guy was probably here for the painting, but he still asked. It's just a painting, I left in a rush and forgot to take it. This time I happened to come by, so I... Shui Yufeng explained. Oh. Emo said. Go take it, I still have a few questions for you. Shui Yufeng quickly said. No need, no need, I suddenly feel that I know all the 5-element magic inside. I'm very free right now, ask me whatever you like. His spirit sense already saw that the painting was gone. How could he not know that Emo took it? Shui Yufeng's face went awkward. He didn't know the first question Emo asked, so he guessed. I think it's either Chu Jiuyu or Chu Xian. Emo changed a question knowing this guy was so bad at lying. Do you know what's sealed inside? This I really know. But then, his face looked more awkward as it showed his previous answer was a guess. Seeing that Emo wasn't angry, Shui Yufeng breathed easy and said, It seals Hong Yixing, that monster. He has a 9-headed void-devouring bug. It's very terrifying. It's an ancient bug that can devour space. With the help of that bug, even Chu Xiaoyi is no match for Hong Yixing. I don't know how he tricked Hong Yixing here and sealed him. But I owed him. I promised to guard this place for him for 500 years and he could give me an immortal curl flower. But I waited countless 500 years, but I still didn't see him. Thus I had no choice but to possess someone. Emo nodded. Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei didn't intentionally trick you because he already died at West Extreme State. He arranged for Chu Xian to deal with you, but he also disappeared too. What? Emo didn't expect that Shui Yufeng's eyes actually went red for this. After a long while, he said in disbelief. Who can kill him? His power is pretty much Luo Yu Continent number 1. Emo thought that without the Golden Page world, Chu Xiaoyi went to the formation heart of the 37th Daming. He was indeed invincible. Chu Jiuyu was his disciple. He probably didn't even reach truth realization state at the time of Chu Xiaoyi's death. Who killed him? I need to visit his grave. Shui Yufeng completely forgot his life was in Emo's hands. Although he cursed Chu Xiaoyi for not being trustworthy, but Chu Xiaoyi meant quite a lot to him. He explained. Brother Xiaoyi is the only person I respect. His character is unparalleled. Emo hadn't seen Chu Xiaoyi before, but from how he devoted his entire life to North Far State, he also respected Chu Xiaoyi. Emo hesitated for a moment and said, I'm guessing Chu Qianbei was harmed by people from above. Emo asked directly, Do you know where Hong Yixing took that disgusting bug to? Emo asked directly, Do you know where Hong Yixing took that disgusting bug to? Shui Yufeng quickly answered. I know he went to Long Grave Hill and roared for a while and then annihilated Wan Yu sect before heading south. Wan Yu sect is annihilated too? Emo was shook and immediately thought of Peihai City. This guy didn't go there right. Just when Emo wanted to leave, Shui Yufeng said, Yes, I've been keeping watch of him. He said at Long Grave Hill, he was going to eat alive whoever dared to take his Miss Lotus Heart fire. Hong Yixing put the Miss Lotus Heart fire there? Emo asked in surprise. When he took the Miss Lotus Heart fire, He guessed someone had put it there. He realized what the fire-eating bug demon meant when he said Old Man Hong. It was Hong Yixing. With this, Shui Yufeng immediately knew that Yemo took it. Yemo was very desperate thinking about Peihai City. He released Blue Moon and just wanted to head there when he suddenly asked, "Is Hong Yixing a guy who wears a gray robe and has a pale face?" Shui Yufeng's spirit sense also scanned Hong Yixing, who was a few thousand km away, and immediately said, "That's right, it's him." Hong Yixing seemed to be hunting a cultivator. That cultivator's speed was on par with Hong Yixing. Yemo released Blue Moon and headed over without hesitation. He also felt strange. There was actually someone who could escape from Hong Yixing in North Far State. Seeing Yemo chase over, Shui Yufeng licked his lips. "There's a good show to watch." After Yemo refined Blue Moon again, its speed had surpassed half immortal artifact. Yemo quickly pulled close to them. Both Hong Yixing and the one being chased felt Yemo's presence, and scanned their spirit sense over. Hong Yixing was furious. It had always been him who chased people who dared to chase him. He didn't believe Yemo was a friend. He never had friends, only enemies. If it was some ordinary person, he would have sent his 9-headed void-devouring bug to finish things up, but Yemo's speed was extremely fast, and he was truth realization state tertiary stage. He didn't want his 9-headed void-devouring bug to risk it. But seeing Yemo's magic artifact to be beyond half immortal artifact, he was immediately touched. He gave up chasing that cultivator and stopped to wait for Yemo. Seeing this, the cultivator didn't keep running and watched here too. Not running from this cruel Hong Yixing, Yemo approved of this cultivator. However, this cultivator saw he was standing off with Hong Yixing and came closer instead. Shui Yufeng, who followed, also came here. He called out from a distance, "Old Demon Hong, long time no see." "Shui Yufeng, I was troubled not being able to find you. You've got balls to appear before me. Do you think Chu Xiaoyu would still be here?" Hong Yixing said furiously. He really wasn't afraid of Chu Xiaoyu appearing here. He was only sealed because he was not careful before. Shui Yufeng sneered. "I sealed you for 10,000 years. How can I be scared of a guy who relies on his bug PFT? Haha, so you sealed this bastard, satisfying." The cultivator who was chased before sneered too. Hong Yixing was extremely furious. "Sealed by you? Do you have a face or not? A petty bastard barely surviving with his essence spirit for countless years in a small temple has the face to say he sealed me. I'll let you be pet food for 9-9. Then, Hong Yixing waved and a 3-headed 9-headed void-devouring bug instantly appeared by his side. Shui Yufeng knew he was a far cry from Hong Yixing, so he retreated again now that Hong Yixing attacked. "Die!" Hong Yixing punched his fist at Yemo. He didn't even use his 9-headed void-devouring bug. This was the first time Yemo had seen someone attack him with a fist. It was normal-sized when Hong Yixing first punched, but in the blink of an eye, it was the size of a bucket. When it was above Yemo's head, it was a huge metal hammer that was 10 meters wide. Shui Yufeng and that cultivator retreated quickly. Hong Yixing was on par with Chu Xiaoyu. Yemo wasn't scared of him but wouldn't underestimate him. His cultivation essence burst out into Zisu, forming a purple ray hacking at Hong Yixing's fist. Crack! This sound made Yemo think Zisu didn't hack a fist but a magic artifact tougher than his Zisu. Hong Yixing and Yemo flew back at the same time. Yemo's cultivation essence rustled. He was shook. Hong Yixing's cultivation essence was on par with him. But Hong Yixing was more shocked than Yemo. With his dense cultivation essence, he wasn't even scared of a hollow immortal. The only thing was that his cultivation essence couldn't compare with immortal essence. He didn't expect the invincible cultivation essence he had from a lucky fortune didn't get any advantage with Yemo. He even suffered a little. Hong Yixing looked at the blood gash on his fist, and suddenly released a gray bead. He used multiple spells and this bead, like his fist, instantly expanded. Rumble! Countless gray mist spurted out, instantly covering the surround area. Shui Yufeng and the other cultivator retreated quickly. Even a truth realization state cultivator was dead for certain against such terrifying corrosive mist. The two looked at each other, and clearly were ready to run. They would run as soon as Hong Yixing killed Yemo. Who is this guy? He seems very powerful, but why did he get devoured by that gray mist immediately? Even I can't get away from that mist, he's dead for sure. The running cultivator asked Shui Yufeng. Shui Yufeng sighed. A cocky guy. I thought he was powerful and scared me quite a lot. But he doesn't seem to be able to withstand a hit. Then, he looked at the cultivator and said, Brother, you're not bad too. You were hunted by old Demon Hong for so long, and yet you decided to stay and watch the show like me. Seeing Shui Yufeng patronize him, the cultivator sneered. If it wasn't for that bastard's 9-headed void-devouring bug, how can I be afraid of him? Don't bullshit. Shui Yufeng said in contempt. Can you stop his bead? Lil brother, get ready to run. Shui Yufeng took out a transmission rune. There were the subtle screams of countless souls in the gray mist. These gray mists not only had the powerful effect of devouring essence spirit but had a greater corrosive effect. But Yemo wasn't scared, his essence spirit was very stable, he didn't even fear the demon prison 3-birth bridge, how could he be scared of this? As for the corrosion, he had already shielded himself with his powerful domain. Even if he didn't, it wouldn't be able to do anything to him. He was a God-state body refinement cultivator. Yemo called out Shadowless without hesitation. These things were top-grade nourishment for Shadowless, he couldn't waste it. Seeing Yemo get devoured by the mist, Hong Yixing sneered. Cocky Wanbei, letting you die like that is too easy on you, Devour. 9-headed void-devouring bug was tired of waiting and charged at Yemo like crazy with Hong Yixing's order. He felt space was missing. Yemo knew this was the 9-headed void-devouring bug's gift, devouring space. If it was 9-headed, Yemo would ran as far away as possible, but he wasn't scared of a mere 3-head. He felt space was missing. Yemo knew this was the 9-headed void-devouring bug's gift, devouring space. If it was 9-headed, Yemo would ran as far away as possible, but he wasn't scared of a mere 3-head. When he expanded his domain, he also let out the defensive power of God state around him. Crack! The 3 mouths bit onto Yemo's domain at the same time. However, this time, space wasn't devoured, it just rattled. This was just his natural ability. It didn't mean he was more powerful than beings who could tear open dimensions. Facing against Yemo's powerful domain, it was immediately limited. Before Hong Yixing could be shocked with Yemo's domain, he stared at Shadowless in shock. Shadowless bug! More than half of his gray mist had been devoured. Shadowless was like a mist-sucking machine. But at this moment, Shadowless stopped and screamed. There was an intense desire to devour from Shadowless. It dashed to Yemo and stared at the 9-headed void-devouring bug that was countless times bigger than him. It seemed very funny that a pea-sized thing stared at something 10,000 times bigger than it, and wanted to devour it. But this wasn't funny at all. Void-devouring bug already saw Shadowless and released the space he couldn't devour. He started to retreat, and there was fear in his eyes. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was fearful. Shadowless hadn't grown, but so wasn't he. It could devour space, but Shadowless could devour it. Even if it devoured Shadowless first, Shadowless could devour it from the inside. Seeing Shadowless about to devour the 9-headed void-devouring bug, Yemo felt disgusted and quickly called. Go back to devouring the gray mist. If you eat that disgusting thing, you don't need to stay with me anymore. He had never seen something more disgusting than the 9-headed void-devouring bug, and yet Shadowless wanted to devour the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Box Novel Coem, there was a sliver of dissatisfaction in Shadowless's eyes, and it didn't want to retreat. Seeing this, Yemo expanded his domain, and Zisu brought a vibrant purple ray hacking at 9-headed void-devouring bug. Instead of letting Shadowless eat this bug, he might as well kill it. Although the 9-headed void-devouring bug had 3 heads, it was countless times weaker than 9-headed. Crack! The 9-headed void-devouring bug reacted a little slow, and one of its head was sliced off. Before it could leave, Yemo burned with fire. The head instantly turned to dust, and so did the essence spirit on its head. The nine-headed void-devouring bug screamed and spat a gray blood mist. 9. Han Yixing saw this and called out in shock. He was immediately going to bring nine-headed void-devouring bug back. The nine-headed void-devouring bug had his essence spirit shards. Even he felt dizzy after Yemo destroyed a head. Miss Lotus Heart Fire. Han Yixing looked hatefully at Yemo and said word by word. So you stole the Miss Lotus Heart Fire I left at Long Grave Hill. I said I'm going to eat you. Yemo stopped him in contempt. Hong, stop bluffing, I already cut a head off your disgusting bug. I want to see how many more heads I can cut off. By the way, the nine-headed void-devouring bug's soul at South Mountain Market also belongs to you, right? I killed it too, I've cut 2 heads off your bug already. I want to see how many more I can cut. Then Yemo yelled at Shadowless. Hurry up and finish eating, stop wasting time. Han Yixing only knew now that Yemo killed another of his essence spirit shards. He was furious and couldn't even be bothered talking this time. He slapped himself in the forehead, and a crack opened up. Black rays emitted from his forehead. They were rapid like lightning and instantly covered this entire space. Yemo had seen this before. When he killed Emo Qianli, he used the evil soul strands. Han Yixing's ones were countless times stronger than Emo Qianli. The strands seemed to have its own soul. At this moment, Shadowless finished devouring the gray mist and even ate the bead. However, it didn't charge up at the evil soul strands, it couldn't devour that yet. Those strands charged at Yemo and Shadowless. Shui Yifeng and the other cultivators saw Shadowless had finished devouring the mist. Powerful indeed, Shui Weifeng said and quietly put away the transmission rune in his hands, but as soon as he did, Han Yixing released the evil soul strands. Evil soul strands! The two exclaimed at the same time. They had never encountered this, but they knew its power. Cultivating this needed countless tortured souls. It was an extremely hard demonic cultivation method. The higher the level, the higher the requirement on the soul was. Where could this young cultivator go now? Shui Weifeng put that transmission back in his hands quietly. Yemo didn't let Shadowless charge up. These old monsters who had lived for countless years were indeed powerful. Against an opponent of the same level, Yemo had no habit of using defensive means. He waved his hand and lightning swords were released. Rumble. Thunder cracked in the sky. Han Yixing heard this and looked up into the distance in shock. Before he could react, countless lightning swords fell. Yemo's spirit sense was more powerful now, and the lightning swords rained densely like rain. Countless lightning swords struck the evil soul strands. Terrified screams sounded from the evil soul strands, and they twisted and contorted before turning to dust in the black lightning swords. It was this weak? Yemo dazed and realized his lightning sword had reached a very high level. Those evil soul strands were formed from tortured souls. They naturally feared lightning. Lightning element! Han Yixing's face changed. He didn't expect Yemo was lightning spirit root and such absurd attack. For the first time, Han Yixing felt a little cold. He had only been out for a few days and didn't encounter some Chu Xiaoyi, but he encountered a young cultivator more absurd than Chu Xiaoyi. At this moment, he wanted to leave. Staying here would only mean he would keep getting countered by Yemo. If he didn't leave quickly, he might even be killed. He's actually a lightning element cultivator. Shui Weifeng and the cultivator called out in shock. How could Yemo let Han Yixing run? He knew lightning sword countered the evil soul strands and released even more. With this, Han Yixing's face looked worse. He knew that if he didn't use his trump card, he wouldn't get the chance to. He raised his hand and a half-gray dagger appeared in his hand. He sliced through the air at Yemo with this. With this, Yemo immediately knew there was a problem. It was dark gray, but it had a snow-white ray that seemed to tear space open. Before it even reached Yemo, felt that dominant and grand killing force. With this, Yemo immediately knew there was a problem. It was dark gray, but it had a snow-white ray that seemed to tear space open. Before it even reached Yemo, felt that dominant and grand killing force. This killing force was much more than his Zisu. Before the sword even arrived, his essence spirit was shaking. Yemo focused all of his spirit sense on releasing Lightning Sword at this moment, and didn't even release Octagonal Cauldron. When he was about to release the Octagonal Cauldron, the sword tip had appeared before him. He even had the feeling that even Octagonal Cauldron wouldn't be able to stop it. Yemo's body went cold. He even had this feeling that he didn't want to avoid it. Yemo instantly knew things weren't good and bit the tip of his tongue, forcefully waking himself up. Splurge. Blood splashed out when the sword tip pierced into Yemo's chest. Yemo breathed easy. The moment the tip hit him, the dominating killing force disappeared. Yemo knew it wasn't that the sword tip wasn't powerful, but Hong Yixing couldn't control this sword tip. The moment Hong Yixing released the sword tip, he spat a few mouthfuls of blood. He knew the power of this sword tip too well. He couldn't control it with his current power. But if he didn't use this, he wouldn't be able to escape from Yemo. The instant the sword tip struck Yemo, Hong Yixing breathed easy. No matter what, he didn't need to run now. Being struck by the sword tip meant certain death. The sword tip broke open Yemo's armor. This was the first time Yemo received such heavy injury since reaching God state body refinement. Yemo grabbed the jumping sword tip and sets tens of restrictions on it before putting it in his storage ring. If Hong Yixing could still control this, he wouldn't be able to put it away. You're fine. Hong Yixing looked at Yemo in shock. To a truth realization state cultivator, a knife wound was nothing. He thought that this sword tip would at least tear Yemo's body to pieces or even bloody mist. Hong Yixing didn't dare to imagine just what degree a body was strong to when it couldn't be torn by this sword tip. Yemo knew his situation wasn't good. His wounds wouldn't heal after that strike and it was about to expand. He had to quickly kill Hong Yixing and find a place to recover. He burst out his cultivation essence and spirit sense like crazy as the lightning sword fell down with even more power. He also released Zisu. Countless purple sword rays locked this volume of space. Yemo was determined to kill Hong Yixing. The evil soul strands gradually disappeared completely, and there was defeat on Hong Yixing's face. If he knew this cultivator was this absurd, he would use all means to escape, but now, his cultivation essence and spirit sense was used up too much. He couldn't even break through Yemo's domain. After all the evil soul strands were destroyed, Yemo used Zisu again, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. He would only feel assured after Hong Yixing was dead, and thus didn't hold back at all. There was a sliver of despair on Hong Yixing's face. His chi suddenly rose. Yemo knew this guy was planning to self-destruct after seeing that he couldn't get away. Biox novel. Com splurge. The sword ray hacked Hong Yixing when he was about to self-explode. Amidst the explosion, tiny space tears appeared. The two-headed nine-headed void-devouring bug looked sad too and was about to self-destruct. Shui Yifeng and the other cultivator quickly retreated. They looked at the center of the explosion wondering if Yemo could survive this. Yemo didn't go into the Golden Page world. As he used his cultivation essence, the power of the God State body refinement was shown. Compared to Xing Cheng's self-destruction, Hong Yixing's was nothing. Moments later, the space returned to normal. Hong Yixing and his nine-headed void-devouring bug disappeared. Yemo just stood in there with a little messy hair. He didn't seem injured at all. Yemo scanned Shui Yifeng and the other cultivator and suddenly released Blue Moon disappearing. At this moment, Yemo had to go find a place to heal. That sword tip gave Yemo a very bad feeling. The cultivator standing with Shui Yifeng was Truth Realization State Level 9. Yemo didn't know since when North Far State had a Truth Realization State Level 9 cultivator, but he didn't have the mood to ask. He was clearly very strong to be able to run away from Hong Yixing. Before he was recovered, he shouldn't be in contact with such people. His Shadowless was exposed. Who didn't want Shadowless? Although it could only ever have one master, but its body was full of treasure. Xianbei, wait for me. Shui Yifeng turned without hesitation. Xianbei? The cultivator studied Shui Yifeng and said, Didn't you say you sealed Hongishing for countless years and this cultivator fighting old demon Hong was all an act? Why do you suddenly call him Qianbei now? What? You're looking down on me? Shui Yufeng didn't consider this truth realization state level 9 a threat at all. The cultivator smiled. Of course not. I see that you possess this body, your soul, and the body hasn't fully fused yet. That's right, little brother Keen Eyes. When I was dominating the cultivation realm with Chu Xiaoyi, he said he would get me an immortal curl flower. Pity I'm still alive, but brother Xiao has died. Shui Yufeng sounded a little down. You're actually a master in the same generation as Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei? The cultivator immediately saluted with his fists with respect. Seeing he got the respect, Shui Yufeng was satisfied and showed a plain face. That's right. Brother Xiaoyi and I sealed that Hong Yixing for 10,000 years, but he still broke the seal. If it wasn't for that brother's help, by the way, what's your name? You can escape from Hong Yixing, you're not ordinary. The cultivator said. I'm Zhui Qingyan, I don't often come to North Far State. This time, I'm sending a disciple to Peihai City and thus I came here. On the way back I accidentally encountered old demon Hong. Shui Yufeng had been sealed for too long to know North Far State's cultivation levels, so he nodded. Not bad, your power is quite good. Truth realization state level 9, you're about to ascend to immortal realm. Keep it up, we'll meet again in the immortal realm. Then where do you live? What is your disciple's power level? Plus, are you not going to teach him after sending him there? Shui Yufeng said. Shui Qingyan smiled. Because the Immortal Ascension Tunnel has opened. I'm preparing for Immortal Ascension. Although my Smoke Rain Island is very tough, it's not safe in a place like the Heartless Sea. If I Immortal Ascension and my disciple is just hollow spirit state, clearly my disciple can't stay alive properly. I'm here to find an old friend here wanting him to take care of my disciple. But that old friend had left Dangling Peak. Shui Yufeng patted his chest. Brother Zhui, if it wasn't that I'm about to Immortal Ascension too, I would look after your disciple for sure. But don't worry, tell me your disciple's name and I'll protect him. In North Far State, other than that Hong Yixing, I'm not scared of anyone. Then he added quickly. That young guy who killed Hong Yixing is my friend. I'm definitely not going to have conflict with him. I even gave him a painting. Although he's very grateful, but I don't even sweat it. Shui Qingyan knew what sort of person Shui Yufeng was now, so he waved his hand. No need, we came to North Far State and found news of her father. Her father is rather famous, I'm sending her there to meet him. Then Shui Qingyan said, My friend Kong Yi is Chu Xiaoyi Qianbei's grand disciple. If you don't mind, you can come to my island for a while. We don't have anything special, but we do have a lot of herbs for nourishing soul. Shui Yufeng was just about to reject, but hearing the second half of the sentence he quickly said, I was planning to guard North Far State, but now that Hong Yixing is dead my mission is over. Since Brother Zhui invites, let's go then, what are we waiting for? Blue Moon was very fast, and in a short while, he was at a barren mountain. He didn't even check where this was and he went into the Golden Page world to recover. Blue Moon was very fast, and in a short while, he was at a barren mountain. He didn't even check where this was and he went into the Golden Page world to recover. Despite using the 3-birth chant, the wound wasn't healing and was instead getting worse. So powerful! Yemo had a few pills and said in shock. He was truth realization state and a God state body refinement. His main cultivation method was the 3-birth chant, and yet his wound couldn't heal. Yemo sat by the bitter bamboo eating pills, but he still felt the wound healed very slowly. It was as though if he didn't tend to it, it would worsen again. The pain from the wound was unbearable. It was as though each time it hurt, a part of his soul would be grinded away. Just what is this? Yemo truly realized the terror of this wound. He picked up that sword tip, but he couldn't scan his spirit sense in. Yemo put the sword tip down again. He had decided to heal his wound first. It was slow, but it would eventually heal. With this, Yemo started using the 3-birth chant to recover, but after 6 days Yemo found that his wound only closed a third. It was getting slower and slower as well. Yemo got up anxiously. He felt that even if he forcefully closed the wound, if he didn't understand the cause, this wound would still be a huge problem. Shadowless seemed to know Yemo was annoyed and flew to the side. When Yemo was near the bitter bamboo, it flew to the spirit herb garden. When Yemo walked over there, it flew back to the bitter bamboo. Clearly, it was scared of Yemo. Yemo didn't mind, and when he walked to the spirit herb garden, he suddenly stopped. He felt his wounds seemed to be healing here. What was going on? Was there a certain place in the Golden Page world that could heal wounds? Yemo closed his eyes and felt that indeed the wound healed faster here. That satisfying feeling, it wasn't as simple as healing wound, but even his essence spirit and spirit sense was being nourished. He had this inexplicable sense of enlightenment. Yemo started to move slowly. He wanted to know which position in his Golden Page world was the best for healing. 15 minutes later, Yemo saw the wound that easily healed by half and exclaimed. It was here. There seemed to be a life force here that rapidly closed his wound. Just when Yemo was planning to heal his wounds altogether, he saw the small sapling underneath him. It was just 10 cms tall, but there was this indescribable life force emitting from it. Yemo felt he didn't need to do anything and his wounds were closing rapidly. Yemo realized that his wounds were healing because of this small sapling. It was the sapling with chaos chi he got from the Abyssal River. In just half an hour, his wounds completely healed and a black chi was dispelled from the wound. Yemo didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Yemo touched the spot and it was extremely smooth. This is good. Yemo looked at the sapling with great bliss. Chaos items were indeed not simple. He completely forgot about it after throwing it next to the spirit herb garden. This wasn't where it should stay. There was about tens of thousands of km of area in the Golden Page world. He found a special place for the sapling and moved it over. He buried 10 extreme grade spirit range below it. If it wasn't that immortal crystals were too valuable, Yemo even wanted to bury some there. This was only a sapling now and it was this powerful. What if it grew into a tree? But Yemo didn't know what this tree was. Thing had a complete guide to things, but there was no guide to this tree. Yemo was in a good mood. He sat down and started to study the sword tip. Yemo removed the restriction and the sword tip jumped around in his hands, although wanting to leave. Yemo tried to spirit control the sword tip but found it was very hard. His spirit sense couldn't extend into this sword tip. When Yemo forcefully sent his spirit sense into the sword tip, an ancient chi came. Before Yemo could look at it closely, a chaotic slaughtering chi came. The two chi mixed together made Yemo's head ache. Especially that slaughtering chi, it was as though this sword tip killed countless cultivators and devoured countless cultivators' soul and blood. It still had a strong blood lust and was sending murderous thoughts into Yemo's brain. Yemo quickly took back his spirit sense and forced these thoughts out. He was shook. Just what was this? Another 3 days later, Yemo finally found out how Hong Yixing controlled this sword tip. He placed a shard of his essence spirit in there. It was hard for other cultivators but very easy for Hong Yixing, who often does this. Yemo didn't use that way, he felt it wasn't safe. This sword tip was like a time bomb. Perhaps Hong Yixing's desire for slaughter was due to this sword tip. But Yemo felt it was a waste to not use such a powerful weapon. Luckily Yemo had his own way. He had Purple Eye Soul Sever. He didn't sever his essence spirit, but he placed some spirit sense on the sword tip. If necessary, he could use it to attack someone like Hong Yixing, but it would be much more powerful in his hands as his spirit sense was far stronger than Hong Yixing. Yemo left the Golden Page world and realized this was Mu Mountain. When he first came to Luoyu continent, he came here. Now, he had established his own city in South Peace State, been to North Far State countless times. He even went to West Extreme State twice, but only his birthplace, East Black State, he still haven't been there. Thinking about the places he had been there, and his master Luoying, and how she was his wife now, there was a grin on Yemo's mouth. Then, he thought of Jing Kun he still hadn't killed. Perhaps I should take Susu back to East Black State, Yemo murmured. Yemo didn't leave as he saw a familiar person running over. It was Qing Yejuan, the only pill king who was Golden Core State. His pill concoction talent was absurdly strong, but his power was too weak. When he was Foundation Establishment State, Qing Yejuan was Golden Core State. Now that he was Truth Realization State, Qing Yejuan stayed the same. He was a good person. After the Pill Concoction Hall of Fame tournament, he even came up to him to discuss pill concoction experience. But Yemo knew that Qing Yejuan came with the intent to teach him things. Yemo, why are you here? Qing Yejuan then immediately said. Great that you're here. What happened? Yemo asked in confusion. He didn't see anyone hunting Qing Yejuan. I heard you went to South Peace State, or I would have went to Peihai to find you. Ling Zhongtian Qianbei was found, but his Dan Tian was heavily injured, so was his soul. The Immortal Herb Valley Sect leader Ming Xin and Pill Association leader Nong Jinxian and Vice Association leader Wang Tsungjian are all there, but they aren't able to save him, Qing Yejuan said. I heard you went to South Peace State, or I would have went to Peihai to find you. Ling Zhongtian Qianbei was found, but his Dan Tian was heavily injured, so was his soul. The Immortal Herb Valley Sect leader Ming Xin and Pill Association leader Nong Jinxian and Vice Association leader Wang Tsungjian are all there, but they aren't able to save him, Qing Yejuan said. Yemo dazed, Ling Zihongtian appeared? Seeing Yemo was confused, Qing Yejuan quickly said. Ling Qianbei was saved by a Qianbei called Mengjin. Even Ling Qianbei can't see through Mengjin's power. But that Mengjin Qianbei left after bringing Ling Qianbei here. He said he was here to find someone. Hearing this name, Yemo soon remembered who it was. It was that cultivator who was chased by Fan Yizong. He was probably Truth Realization State Level 9. Yemo didn't expect him to chase over the Heartless Sea to North Far State. Clearly he was a warm-hearted person to send Ling Zhongtian back, but he wasn't from Luoyu continent. Who would he be looking for? What are you doing here? Yemo asked again. This place had little spirit chi. I'm here to invite Pill Culvin sect leader Qiao. He's level 3 Pill King now. Perhaps he has a way to cure Ling Qianbei, but that's not necessary now. Yemo, come with me. Ling Zihongtian Qianbei is irreplaceable in North Far State. Now that 9-headed void-devouring bug appeared in North Far State, we need him to gather the power of North Far State, Qing Yejuan said genuinely. Yemo nodded. Ling Zhongtian wasn't very powerful, but he was much more charismatic than Shan Di and Tang Mengrao. Yemo smiled. I've already killed that 9-headed void-devouring bug, no need to worry. Huh? Qing Yejuan looked dazedly at Yemo. He knew Yemo was a pill concoction prodigy, but didn't know Yemo was a Truth Realization State cultivator. Yemo patted him. No need to be shocked, I have a way to counter it, and it was through luck that I annihilated it. So that's it? Qing Yejuan nodded dubiously. He only heard that the 9-headed void-devouring bug was ravaging North Far State. He didn't know there was a Hong Yixing with it too. Qing Yejuan added. After inviting sect leader Qiao, I was going to take the teleportation formation to Peihai City. Yemo asked in confusion. There are so many cultivators, why are you the one running around? Qing Yejuan knew that Yemo meant to say a Golden Core State was too slow, but he quickly explained. In order to save Ling Qianbei, everyone moved out. Those higher-level cultivators went to find Spirit Herb. I have the easiest job of running around. Then why are you going to Peihai City? Yemo asked again. It's said that the MOU pills are very high quality. I want to see if there would be a pill suitable for Ling Qianbei. By the way, Tang Qianbei said she went to South Peace State to find someone to annihilate the 9-headed void-devouring bug. Now that you've already annihilated it, Tang Qianbei probably don't need to go. I have to tell her this if she hasn't left yet, but I'm afraid she had already gone. Qing Yejuan said. Qing Yejuan seemed to have thought of something and added. Broken Leaf City Pill Association Vice Leader Wang Tsungjian and Sect Leader Ming Xian were chatting about how a few days ago, a cultivator whose power was unable to be seen bringing a young girl around to search for your news. They're probably looking for you. Association leader once said you have business in Peihai City, so you're probably there. Yemo immediately thought of Yemo and asked desperately, "What are they called?" "That I don't know, that person didn't say either." Qing Yejuan shook his head. Yemo didn't have the mood to go with Qing Yejuan anymore. He gave him 3 jade bottles and said, "2 of the pills are for Ling Zhongtian's wounds, another one is a gift. The rest of the pills are yours. You know what pills they are." "I'm not going with you, I'm going back to Peihai City immediately." Then, Yemo took out Blue Moon and disappeared. Qing Yejuan looked at the direction Yemo disappeared in confusion, and then took out those pills. His face changed immediately. "This is spirit recovery pill made with 10,000-year stalagmite marrow? I can't even recognize the other pills." When Yemo opened the bottle with only 1 pill, he called out in shock, "Truth spirit pill." Never had he thought that Yemo would give such a precious pill to him to bring to Ling Zhongtian. His heart was throbbing with distrust. He didn't think much and didn't even open the bottle for him. He quickly put them away and released his flying magic artifact and disappeared too. He didn't dare to waste time with such responsibility on him. North Far State wasn't small, but it was nothing compared to South Peace State and West Extreme State. In less than a day, Yemo arrived at Peihai City. Yemo scanned his spirit sense in. It was much more prosperous than before. With this many cultivators here, it probably had to do with the 9-headed void-devouring bug. MOU became the #1 cultivation merchant association. Yemo saw Jing Xiashan and Li Jinwen, but he didn't see Yemo. Yemo's mood fell down immediately. He put away Blue Moon and entered Peihai. The guards all knew Yemo, and Yemo's arrival instantly spread. The city lord Chiziyu and Li Jinwen all came out to greet him. Even Shan Dai ran out nervously. Tang Mengrao went to South Peace State to find Yemo, but Yemo came nad Tang Mengrao wasn't here. Shan Di couldn't hold it. He was scared of Yemo, but he still asked. "Pil King Yi, sect leader Tang went to South Peace State to ask for your help." Yemo waved his hand. "I've already annihilated that 9-headed void-devouring bug and killed that Hong Yixing. Don't worry about North Far State, go do what you need to do." Everyone was shook. They knew the power of the 9-headed void-devouring bug and its master. Shan Di was truth realization state and had a forbidden technique and was very far, thus he survived. Yet Yemo casually said he annihilated them. Just how powerful was he now? Shan Di could tell Yemo was truth realization state tertiary stage, but he wasn't sure. This was too absurd. Yemo didn't have the mood to talk and just went back to MOU. Before Yemo even asked in the MOU meeting hall, Jin Shaoshan said desperately, "Yemo has been found, her master sent her here." It's said that Yemo's master is truth realization state level 9 and Yemo is hollow spirit state herself. Huh? Yemo got up in surprise and joy. He didn't even know what to ask. He didn't expect his guess to be right. Yemo really came back. He immediately thought of the truth realization state level 9 being hunted by Hong Yixing. Was he Yemo's master? After a long while, Yemo suppressed his joy. "Where is Yemo? Why don't I see her?" Suyu quickly said. Sect leader Tang took the teleportation formation to South Peace State, and was scared that the 9-headed void-devouring bug would attack here, so she took Yemo to South Peace State. Yemo was a little disappointed that he missed his daughter, but he breathed easy. With Tang Mingrao's truth realization state power, they were clearly fine. The teleportation formation in South Peace State was in Mohai City. There was no high-level spirit beasts there, so there was no danger. With his status in South Peace State, they would probably be fine. The teleportation formation was damaged heavily, and Tang Mengrao was barely able to leave. Yemo had decided to repair it, and then leave through it. Yemo was repairing the teleportation formation while helping Mou concoct some high-level pills. Yemo was repairing the teleportation formation while helping Mou concoct some high-level pills. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was killed by EMOs, so the cultivators hiding in Peihai City all left. They all came to say goodbye to EMO. There were quite some sects at Peihai City too. 2 days later, EMO repaired the Peihai teleportation formation and the city emptied up. There was still a lot of people, but not as abnormal as before. The day EMO finished repairing the teleportation formation, EMO left North Far State. Standing at High City again, EMO exclaimed. He went from Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds to West Extreme State and then from there to North Far State. Now, he took teleportation formation back to South Peace State. Other than East Black State that he hadn't been, Luo Yu Continent's 3 states were like his backyard. EMO headed to the teleportation formation immediately. He was going to go South Peace City and then fly home to MOU City. But as soon as EMO came here, he felt an unusual temperature. 2 Golden Core State cultivators were discussing outside the teleportation formation hall. I'm certain that female cultivator is a truth realization state Qianbei. She crushed that cauldron-filling state cultivator with one hand. It's definitely cultivation essence giant hand. Wani has been an overlord at High City because his father is a cauldron-filling state powerful being and the vice city lord. Now, he met someone tough. He even dared to harass truth realization state Qianbei's disciple. This is asking for death. But that truth realization state Qianbei's disciple is indeed really pretty. EMO heard this and immediately thought of Tang Mangrao and Yimo. Was that Wani harassing Yimo and was killed by Tang Mangrao? EMO felt it wasn't so. If he encountered this, he would kill the person, but Tang Mangrao brought Yimo to South Peace State. She knew there were countless masters here. How could she be so impulsive? Suddenly, the Golden Core State cultivators found out there was someone in front of them. They couldn't see Yimo's power level, and yet he came before them without a sound. Qianbei. The Golden Core State level 4 got up nervously. EMO nodded. I heard you guys talk about a truth realization state Qianbei taking a young girl here and killed the vice city lord and his son, right? One of them nervously said. Qianbei, we. EMO smiled. No need to be nervous, that female cultivator is my friend, so I'm just asking, don't worry. What happened? Do you know where she went after killing those 2? Did she leave through teleportation formation? Hearing this, the 2 Golden Core State finally felt assured. Now that EMO asked about her, the Golden Core State level 4 quickly replied. Yes, it happened on the main street. The truth realization state Qianbei killed Luanidu. Many cultivators saw this. Then the vice city lord Luan Chang came. He was also crushed by the Qianbei's cultivation essence giant hand. But she didn't leave through the teleportation formation. After that, the truth realization state elder of the city came, and they started fighting. Hearing this, EMO was shook. Tang Mengrao was only truth realization state level 1. How could she fight other truth realization state cultivators? He then asked desperately. Then what happened? The Golden Core State shook his head. We don't know. The High City truth realization state Qianbei didn't want to break the city, so they went to the Heartless Sea to fight. We don't know the results. Where is the young girl? EMO asked. The Golden Core State answered. The female cultivator took the girl with her. They left towards east. The Golden Core State added. I heard the other truth realization state elder of the city also chased over. When was this? EMO was worried. Tang Mengrao couldn't even beat 1 truth realization state, much less 2. Yesterday. The Golden Core State answered, but realized the cultivator had disappeared. Another truth realization state Qianbei? The 2 glanced at each other and quickly left this hall. EMO released Blue Moon and brought its speed to the max. He didn't know why Tang Mengrao still hadn't left High City till up to yesterday, but she was in danger. EMO used his strong dimensional sense to find some space ripples. The battlegrounds of truth realization state cultivator would still have some minor residue even after a day, but even EMO could only barely find it. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded in the Heartless Sea. EMO chased over without hesitation. When EMO saw the 3 people there, he immediately knew he completely guessed wrong. There were two bodies on the island. One man and woman were at a standoff. Both of them were truth realization state peak stage. The male cultivator was heavily injured. He detonated some rune, but it didn't injure the female cultivator, and instead disrupted his cultivation essence. Yemo didn't know this female cultivator, but she was much prettier than Tang Mang Rao and had this royal temperament. More importantly, the girl watching wasn't Yemo, but Yemo knew her. Yemo suddenly waved to the girl. Jia Yuning, long time no see, how is your father? Yemo suddenly appeared there on the island, but when the female cultivator saw Yemo was only truth realization state level 7, the female cultivator showed a contemptuous look. She only started watching Yemo again when she heard he knew the girl. You're Yi Qianbei? The girl immediately ran to Yemo's side. That's right, I'm Yemo. Why aren't you with your father? It's quite some journey from your Zhuyin island to here. Why did you guys run so far? Yemo smiled and asked. The girl's eyes went red and sniffed. I don't even know if my father is alive or not. We three sisters ran out with Auntie. And then, the girl glanced at the female cultivator and didn't dare to keep talking. Yemo felt the eeriness of things. Jia Yuning seemed to be scared of this truth realization state female cultivator. As she was her auntie, she shouldn't be scared of her. Plus, Jia Feng was truth realization state peak stage. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were very powerful. Who would dare to do anything to Zhuyin Island? Yemo said to the girl. Yuning, I'm friends with your father. If you have anything, tell me. I will help you. You can leave with me. I really don't believe anyone dares to do anything to you. Her father seemed to have told her about Yemo's power, and she boldened up. The female cultivator sneered. Such big words. Yemo didn't know the relationship between the two, so he ignored her and said, Tell me what's going on. The girl glanced at the beautiful truth realization state peak stage female cultivator and said carefully, I'm actually Jia Yokui. Yuning is my little sister. Yemo coughed awkwardly. My bad, continue. A mere truth realization state level 7 dares to be this cocky. The female cultivator said to the young girl. Jia Yokui, stand on the side, I'm going to kill first. The heavily injured man said to Yemo. Friend, this demon killed the vice city lord of Mo High City and killed 2 truth realization state elders. Her power is very powerful. We need to join up against her. Haha. The beautiful female cultivator laughed as though hearing a ridiculous joke. I'm also planning to annihilate the entire Mo High City. What are you going to do? The female cultivator said coldly. I'm also planning to annihilate the entire Mo High City. What are you going to do? The female cultivator said coldly. Yemo frowned and asked Jia Yokui. Who is she to you? Jia Yokui didn't dare to look up and said quietly. I don't know her, but she wants to take me back to some palace to be some young palace lord. The female cultivator sneered. That's right, it's your fortune. My ice god palace young palace lord is too timid. I'm going to change one. You're lucky to be chosen by me. This beautiful female cultivator was Ice God Palace Lord Lang Ying. She came with the big manager to come find who killed her son Lang Yu. Dai Yun was good, but her character was too soft. She wasn't her best choice. She was about to immortal ascension and couldn't find someone to replace Ting Ting, but now she saw Jia Yokui in the Heartless Sea. She was young and pretty, but also very talented. She favored Jia Yokui immediately. Ice God Palace Lord. Yemo immediately thought of Lang Yu. It seems this was really passed down the family. They were all very selfish and did what they liked. So it's Ice God Palace people. No wonder you're so selfish. Yemo sneered. In the demon prison Forbidden Grounds there was a trash called Lang Yu. I killed him because he wanted to kill my disciple, could it be? Before Yemo finished, Lang Ying's eyes were about to burst out. She went crazy and her force burst out as though about to devour Yemo. So you killed my son. If I don't slice your essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one, I swear I'm not a human. There was crazy killing intent in Lang Ying's eyes. In her eyes, only her son could kill other people and they weren't allowed to resist. Jiayokui was shook and retreated. Yemo just waved his hand calmly and all his crazy killing intent was swept away as though nothing happened here. That heavily injured truth realization state cultivator was planning to run when he saw Lang Ying's attention was focused on Yemo, but after seeing what Yemo did, he immediately knew Yemo wasn't ordinary too and stopped. Seeing this, Lang Ying dazed and the craze disappeared from her eyes. She calmed down and flung out a messenger flying sword. Yemo didn't seem to see this. Lang Ying was rather strong amongst truth realization state tertiary stage, but he didn't care. Could she compare with Sa Anshan, Han Yixing? She was at most a Yuzian, but in fact she was far from Yuzian. I remember, you're the city lord Yemo who killed 11 truth realization state of Pill City and annihilated 9-star sect Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect. The heavily injured truth realization state finally remembered who Yemo was. He realized he was probably safe now. Yemo was extremely powerful, unrivaled in the same state, but he never killed innocents. He had no enmity with him, so Yemo probably wouldn't kill him. No matter how powerful this female cultivator, she wouldn't be able to beat Yemo without a doubt. She suddenly stopped the purple gold band she released. She completely calmed down now. Yemo easily annihilating her killing force made her take him seriously but not feel threatened. But this truth realization state on the side said he killed 11 truth realization states and annihilated 2 9-star sections. This made her not only feel threatened but astonished. She rarely came to South Peace State, but it didn't mean she didn't know Pill City, Lightning Cloud Sect and Infinity Sect. Any of them were on par with her Ice God Palace. This guy could annihilate these 2 sects and challenge the Pill City. Didn't that mean he could easily annihilate her Ice God Palace? She was protective and trusted in her power, but she was no idiot. Seeing her fury retreat, Yemo said calmly, "Weren't you going to tear my essence spirit to pieces and burn them one by one? Why don't you attack? If you're not going to fight, I'm going to go. I don't like to fight women." Jiayokui watched with surprise and joy. She could tell this palace lord felt very threatened by Yemo. Lang Ying finally couldn't bear the scorn and released her purple gold band. Purple gold light covered the heavens as they swept towards Yemo. The truth realization state quickly retreated. He knew that if this band formed a humanoid wave ring, cultivation essence, and even spirit sense would be bound. He was bound by that and in his worry detonated a rune to escape. He thought Yemo would be very powerful and Lang Ying wouldn't be able to do anything to him. However, Yemo was caught in one round. The band had no form, but it looked like a colorful rope wrapping Yemo tightly. This magic artifact was so powerful. This was the first time Yemo saw a magic artifact that could bind cultivation essence and spirit sense. However, it was useless to him. Lang Ying didn't expect her to succeed this quickly. She was overjoyed. She thought she would need to use her 13 purple gold sword self-destruction to injure Yemo. She knew that by the time her magic artifact formed a humanoid wave, no one would be able to break free. There was a cruel look on Lang Ying's face seeing that her magic artifact bound Yemo. She kept inserting cultivation essence and wanting to completely bind Yemo. Yemo sneered and released a few spirit sense blades. The waved band immediately were falling apart. Before Lang Ying could react, Sisu hacked out. Thud. Lang Ying felt the backlash of her magic artifact and immediately spat a few mouthful of blood. She completely don't understand how Yemo broke free. She quickly used a few more hand signs before the band completely collapsed. 13 purple gold flying sword flew out faster than lightning. Rumble. The sword rays tore through space, creating waves of distortion ripples. The battle was in an instant, and there were multiple explosions. The injured truth realization state peak stage looked dazedly at the 13 swords and realized she didn't use her full power when fighting him. Lang Ying breathed easy. The self-destruction of her 13 purple gold sword made her lose a top-grade magic artifact, but she finally killed him. Moments later she was completely dumbfounded. Yemo appeared after the explosions, only his hair was a little messy. You! She really didn't understand how Yemo was fine. Even a body refinement cultivator wouldn't be able to survive that unscathed. Yet Yemo was perfectly fine. Yemo was very annoyed. The self-destruction was so fast that even he didn't react fast enough. Before Langing could react, Zissou hacked out, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain. Seeing this, Langing wanted to retreat, but she felt that space around her had turned to solid. Just taking one step back was extremely hard. Such powerful domain! Langing looked at the nearing purple ray in despair. Langing saw the big Elder Wenwen, but she didn't have much anticipation. Even she was no match for this absurd young man, much less Wenwen. She hoped Wenwen would be able to save her essence spirit. Langing saw the big Elder Wenwen, but she didn't have much anticipation. Even she was no match for this absurd young man, much less Wenwen. She hoped Wenwen would be able to save her essence spirit. Wenwen just got here and saw Yemo kill Langing with one strike. He was scared soulless. He knew the power of the Palace Lord too well. He definitely couldn't beat her. It's been a while since Palace Lord asked for help, and thus it was clear that the young man beat the Palace Lord head-on. Facing such person, going over was suicide. Without hesitation, he released all his power, and the rainbow cloud in the sky rustled. You actually started your immortal ascension, divine damnation. Langing looked at Wenwen in fury. She was hoping for her loyal big elder to save her essence spirit, but he instantly went to immortal ascension. Purple flame moved and Langing couldn't keep thinking anymore. Yemo didn't know that killing Langing equaled to saving Ting Ting and Injichi. He didn't like to leave threats behind. Since there was already conflict between them, he might as well end it now. Seeing Wenwen suddenly go immortal ascension, he immediately knew this guy was from Ice God Palace, but now, he couldn't kill him in time. Biak's novel. COM. Thank you, City Lord Yi, for saving me. I'm number 1 Elder of Mo High City Chiu Baya. This demon killed the Vice City Lord and 2 Truth Realization State Elders. If City Lord Yi didn't come over, I would be dead for sure. Chiu Baya was very grateful to Yemo. Yemo said calmly. How come I heard that Vice City Lord is very murderous? If I see that type of trash, I would kill him too. Are you going to hunt me down, Elder Chiu? Chiu Baya immediately knew that Yemo had a very bad impression of the Vice City Lord. I wouldn't dare. The Vice City Lord spoils his son to dominate the city. I've long disliked this too. Yemo said and couldn't be bothered talking to this guy anymore. He clearly knew what the Vice City Lord did but still didn't do anything. Seeing Yemo have no intentions of talking, Jiayokue didn't dare to keep staying here. He quickly saluted with his fists. Mo High City is very chaotic now. I need to go back and check. If there are more people like Luan-chan, I definitely will kill them. He was a Truth Realization State peak stage cultivator after all, and Yemo didn't want him to look too bad, so he waved his hand. In that case, go do what you need to do, Elder Chiu. Yes, thank you, City Lord Yi. Chiu Baya didn't dare to stay anymore and took the 2 bodies of the Mo High City elders and left. Yemo didn't know his few casual words changed the culture at Mo High City. When Chiu Baya got back, he didn't show any mercy on those domineering cultivators. Eventually, Mo High City grew to a city more prosperous than the South Peace City. Then, Jiayokue went up and thanked. Yokue thank Yi Chien Bei for helping. Yemo waved his hand signaling her not to be pursued and asked. What happened at Juin Island? How is your father? Jiayokue's eyes went red. We were fine, but a few months ago, Peng Island Yuzijin suddenly attacked. Hearing this, Yemo understood what happened. Jiafeng definitely was no match for Yuzijin. She was a mad woman. She did that either for the spirit nourishing well or brought her fury on the island for no reason. Little did Yemo know, the reason Yuzijin was going to kill Jiafeng was also due to Lan Qirei's words. My dad knew he was no match for Yuzijin, so he let Auntie take us sisters and leave. He stopped Yuzijin, and she didn't chase up indeed, but I'm worried about my father. Jiayokue cried. Yemo fell silent. If it was something that just happened, he could go help, but now it had been a few months. How did you fall into the hands of the Ice God Palace Lord? Emo changed the subject. Jia sniffed. My dad wanted me to go to South Peace State and ask for help from you. Auntie was heading towards South Peace State, but on the way we encountered a level 10 spirit beast. In the fight we got separated. Before I could find them, that palace lord just took me away. What power is your auntie? Where did you guys get separated? Truth realization state primary stage. I don't know where we got lost. It was far beyond the range of the Zhuyin Island. I've never been there. Biok's novel. Emo nodded. A truth realization state primary stage should be fine against a level 10 beast, don't worry. I'm going to South Peace State now, are you coming with me? I'm willing to go with Yi Qianbei, Jia said without hesitation. Emo released Blue Moon and sped off towards home. He couldn't even be bothered taking the teleportation formation. It would waste some time getting on and off, as it was like taking the plane. Ice God Palace. Yuntingding and Enjichi were sitting in the room nervously discussing. Sister Qiqi, did Elder Tu and Elder Peng really confirm they will be on our side? I'm still a bit nervous. Ting Ting said again and again. And Qiqi said helplessly. Ting Ting, stop being so indecisive. If the Palace Lord Immortal ascends, you're the Palace Lord. Elder Tu is your teacher, he's not your master, but there's still a relationship there. He will definitely support you being Palace Lord. Elder Ping is my martial ancestor. I've mentioned it to my master. Master said his master would support you being Palace Lord. And Qiqi then said, there's 5 elders altogether now. There's an Elder Lu, Palace Lord reproached him before he left, and Lang Yu's death is related to him. After Palace Lord ascends, he probably will support you, but we need to show our goodwill first. Sister Qiqi, is that why you've been telling me to say good morning to them? Yuntingting asked. And Zihiki nodded. Of course. Those elders are all very cunning, they would know what you mean, but it's fine. As long as you show your respect, they would have a good impression of you. Plus, we're in a lot of danger. If we can't grab power before the 2 other sons are back, good things won't await us. Just when Ting Ting nodded, he felt the restriction outside shake. She quickly signaled to Enjichi and opened the door. Mushin, what happened? Ting Ting looked at the worried girl and asked. Sister Ting Ting, save me, save me. Mu Xia knelt down immediately. Enjichi pulled Mushin in and closed the door, signaling Ting Ting to put the restriction on. Ting Ting did so already. What happened, Mushin? Don't worry, speak slowly. Ting Ting said. Mushin sniffed. Just then. Palace Lord's soul card shattered. She clearly thought of Shaoji's fate. What? Ting Ting and Enjichi were shook and couldn't speak a word. Enjichi reacted first and said to Mushin, don't worry, go back and wait for news. Palace Lord Ting Ting will do her best to help you. Enjichi reacted first and said to Mushin, don't worry, go back and wait for news. Palace Lord Ting Ting will do her best to help you. Seeing Mushin leave, Ting Ting asked in confusion. Sister Qiqi, do you have something to tell me? Enjichi grabbed Ting Ting's hand in excitement. Ting Ting, is this an opportunity? You should hold a meeting and use this to grab the power of the Palace Lord. I believe you don't need me to teach you what to do. Hurry up, the quicker you do this the better. Huh? Ting Ting dazed and subconsciously said. Even if something happened to the Palace Lord, Big Elder is still there, we didn't ask Mushin. Enjichi quickly said. I intentionally didn't ask. Just say you care too much about the Palace Lord and don't have the mood to ask about Big Elder. He wouldn't be in a good position himself. It would be better to ask during the meeting. Then, Enjichi added. I had a worry that I didn't tell you. Palace Lord had the intention of removing you. If you're not the young Palace Lord, you would be the sex slave of her 2 sons. I won't be better off myself. You need to use this opportunity. The person who killed the Palace Lord pretty much saved our lives. He's really a good person. Okay. This time Ting Ting didn't hesitate and nodded firmly. In the most grandiose palace in the Ice God Palace, all the elders and managers appeared here. However, the difference was that instead of the palace lord, it was a young girl sitting on the throne. The Mushin girl knelt in the palace shivering. The palace was dead silent, and even the elders frowned. No one spoke. Ting Ting was nervous, but thinking about her discussion with Sister Chi-Chi before, she forced herself to calm down. Quite some things have been happening to Ice God Palace lately. After second young master died in South Peace State, our palace lord also died in South Peace State. I'm very sad, I don't know what to do. Elders, please indicate what the Ice God Palace should do. This was the method they decided. She would place herself in a very low position in front of these elders. She must let them know that only if she was the palace lord would they have the greatest benefits. One Truth Realization State Level 9 elder nodded. He was happy with Ting Ting's attitude. He was about to be Truth Realization State Peak Stage. He had no desire for power. He needed respect and cultivation resources. Elder Lu Shiju stood out and asked Mushin, "Are there any news of Big Elder 11?" Mushin said shakily, "When I saw Palace Lord's soul card shatter, I was out of my mind. Later, I saw Big Elder's soul card didn't shatter but it turned pure white. Immortal Ascension." Hearing this, they immediately knew Great Elder ascended to the immortal realm. They glanced at each other and looked confused. Theoretically, it should be Big Elder's soul card shattering and Palace Lord ascending. But reality was opposite. What was going on? Mushin was very nervous, but no one cared about someone insignificant like her, and no one said she should die too. Ting Ting waved her hand. "Go back first and keep guarding the soul cards. Report to the elders or me immediately if new situation arises." "Yes." Mushin resisted her excitement and retreated. She didn't hear the palace lord or the elders asking her to die. The managers realized what Ting Ting meant too. But this wasn't in accord with the rules. Not long ago, the palace lord said the soul card watcher must die after the soul card shattered. However, this manner of breaking rules made Cauldron Filling State Manager able to resist. He walked out and saluted to the elders first before casually saluting to Ting Ting. Clearly, his actions meant that the young palace lord was below the elders. Ting Ting was nervous. She knew at this moment she needed to assert her dominance, but she didn't have any capabilities to do so. Then, the manager said, "Young Palace Lord said last time that the Ice God Palace rules must not be broken. But it's only been a few days and our rule has been broken? The Palace Lord's soul card shattered, but young Palace Lord didn't let the young girl watching it to die. Yen Myope don't understood, please enlighten me, young Palace Lord." Mushin almost fell to the floor hearing this. Seeing everyone look at her, Ting Ting knew she had to assert her dominance, or she might die immediately. Even if no elders supported her, she needed to show her temperament. Ting Ting sneered. "Manager Yen, let me ask you. When the Palace Lord ascends or unfortunately dies, what is the rule of the Ice God Palace? Do we not have a Palace Lord?" Yen Myope was shook. He realized he seemed to have said something wrong. He didn't dare to not answer her, and quickly said, "Of course not. In such event, the Palace Lord will be immediately succeeded by the young Palace Lord. If there is no young Palace Lord, then the Palace Lord will be decided by the elders." Ting Ting said sadly. "The previous Palace Lord is my master. Her death hurt me greatly." Then, her tone suddenly changed. She slammed the table and got up, pointing at Manager Yen, yelling, "The Ice God Palace rules are strict, but what did you do? According to the rules, I'm the Palace Lord now, and yet all you call me is young Palace Lord? Do you think your power is greater than the elders? Are you going to take away my position as Palace Lord?" Yen Myope was shook. He didn't expect the timid young Palace Lord would change so much after the Palace Lord was dead. He sneaked a glance at the other managers and elders. No one came out to speak. He was regretting, but he still said, "Palace Lord, my wrong choice of words, but our Ice God Palace rules." Ting Ting sneered and interrupted. "Who decides the Ice God Palace rules?" "Of course, the previous Palace Lord." Yen Myope suddenly felt there were some holes in his words. Ting Ting said pitifully, Our ice god palace had survived for tens of thousands of years, and now we go through hardship again. If we kill our own people because of this, wouldn't the enemy be joyful instead? At this moment, one truth realization state elder got up and said, Palace Lord is right, but Yen Miopi offended Palace Lord. He needs to be punished by the Palace Lord. Seeing that it was Chi-Chi's martial ancestor helping her at a critical moment. If no elders reacted to her words just then, it wouldn't be convincing at all. Yen Niaopei immediately knew he made a big mistake and quickly bowed. It's my fault, please punish me, Palace Lord. A cold voice sounded. Since you dare to offend the Palace Lord, then there's no need for punishment. A cultivation essence giant hand reached over and crushed him into bloody mist. What surprised everyone was that this was Lu Shizhu. Soon, Ting Ting knew this was a signal that Lu Shizhu was going to help her. She quickly said, Now that a big disaster has fallen upon us, but we're lucky to still have the elders here. But since he can defeat our Palace Lord, it wouldn't be wise for us to attack. In order to get revenge for the Palace Lord, I suggest we return to the rules before and seal the palace for 50 years. Elders can try to improve their power. After 50 years, when our power reach a certain level, we must get revenge for Palace Lord. This 50 years was enough for them to grow in power. The managers looked at each other. If the palace was sealed for 50 years, what about the young masters? Clearly the Palace Lord didn't want them to come back. Getting revenge 50 years later was a joke. But no elders said anything. To them, cultivation was the most important thing. Sealing the palace meant they had less business and more time for cultivation. Langing was too harsh in her means and took most of the cultivation resources. Thus, there was no elder who was truly loyal to her. But no elders said anything. To them, cultivation was the most important thing. Sealing the palace meant they had less business and more time for cultivation. Langing was too harsh in her means and took most of the cultivation resources. Thus, there was no elder who was truly loyal to her. When Ting Ting took over, the top-grade resources would be open to the elders and thus won over their support instead. As for the two sons of the previous Palace Lord, who would care about their life and death? Plus, the 50 years' revenge spoke into the hearts of the elders. If even the Palace Lord and the Big Elder were no match for that person, just how powerful would that person be? Seeking revenge was asking for death. Now that the Palace Lord said this, they were happy to play dumb. After the meeting ended, Ting Ting still didn't believe she easily won power like this. The support of one elder was enough, much less 3. But she didn't expect that the greater surprise was to come. Ting Ting went to the Palace Lord cultivation room immediately. And Ji-Chi told her she must control this place first, as it had been the cultivation grounds of all the Palace Lord. The reason the Palace Lord grows so fast is greatly due to this other than their own talent. Box novel. COM. Only the next Palace Lord had been able to come in here, but the condition was that the previous Palace Lord died or Immortal ascended. Ting Ting opened the cultivation room restriction and went into the cultivation room. Seeing everything inside, she was truly awestruck. She was a young Palace Lord and had a truth realization state level 9 master. Although her master didn't treat her that well, she would still give her 1 or 2 extreme grade spirit range occasionally. But seeing the large amounts of top-grade materials, a row cultivation jade slips and a huge spirit marrow pond. The spirit chi was so dense that it was viscous. She didn't even need to cultivate to feel her power growing. There were circles and circles of extreme-grade spirit stones on the side. Ting Ting knew that her cultivation level would be going straight up from now on. However, she couldn't bring in Ji-Chi in here, but there were so many good things, she could bring some out for her. For the first time, she felt power was a good thing. If she wasn't Palace Lord, she wouldn't even dare to think about coming here. This is Mou City? It's so beautiful, much prettier than my Inju Island, Jia Yokoi exclaimed. Yemo immediately sent a messenger flying sword out when he got to South Peace State, but there was still no reply. Just when Jia Yokoi was about to ask, she found the flying magic artifact below her shake. She subconsciously looked at Yemo, and saw Yemo look excitedly at a blue-dressed girl standing on the grass in front. Dad? Yemo also saw Yemo and called out in joy. She ran up. Although her master was very nice to her, she had always been thinking about home. Now that she saw her father again, she had a home again. Yemo hugged his daughter and suddenly eased up. Yemo had grown up a little but was still like the little girl all those years ago. He finally didn't have to worry about his daughter. Feeling her dad's excitement, Yemo regretted. She should have left with Sister Jinwen. And Yemo remembered she couldn't say Sister Jinwen anymore. Dad, sorry, I should have told Master to bring me to find you earlier. Yemo cried in Yemo's arms. She knew her dad searched the entire North Far State to find her. It's okay, it's all good now that you're back. Yemo looked up and saw Song Yangzhu, Luoying, Su Jinwen and them. Yemo was back, so was Yemo. Everyone was overjoyed to see each other. The sliver of worry in Song Yangzhu's eyes were gone. Her only worry was Yemo, and now that she was fine, everything was good. They intentionally didn't reply to Yemo's messenger flying sword just so they could give Yemo a surprise here. Box novel. COM, Yemo introduced Jie Yokoi to everyone. Seeing Yemo finding her father but she didn't know if her father was even alive, Jie Yokoi's mood gloomed down again. Yemo thought of something and took out a storage ring. Dad, this is for you to eat. Yemo took the storage ring and scanned inside. There was a stack of blue wei fruits. They were level 6 spirit herb and very delicious. Yemo patted Yemo's head, feeling very happy. He helped her keep all sorts of spirit herbs and the 12 lightning orbs. His daughter also remembered him and kept so many blue wei fruits for him. However, Yemo didn't plan to give the 12 lightning orbs to her yet. When they got back, he would get her a new cultivation method and teach her lightning sword. Then, he would give the orbs to her. He believed that with his special customization of cultivation method for her, the 12 lightning orbs would be much stronger in her hands than Sua Anshan. Yemo thought of Tang Mangrao and asked, Didn't sect leader Tang bring Yemo here? Where is she? Auntie Tang was asked by Marshal Auntie Ming Xin to go see Qin Mushin in the Heartless Valley. Yemo quickly said. By the way, is your master a gray-robed cultivator, truth realization state level 9? Yemo thought of the cultivator being hunted by Hong Yixing. Yemo quickly said. Yes, Dad, you didn't fight with him, right? Yemo smiled. How can I? He was being hunted and I helped him. I knew it. Yemo said. When I was with Jin Wen, Auntie, he smashed a mountain and said he was stronger than you. Now that I think about it, he's tricking me. Dad, you were probably truth realization state at the time, right? Yemo shook his head. No, he didn't trick you, he was indeed stronger than me at the time. At that time, Yemo was probably just foundation establishment state. Your master is very nice to you. Your master must have paid a huge price for you to reach hollow spirit state at this age with your talent. Yemo knew Yemo's spirit root was good but far from Qingxue and them. Yemo quickly said, Yes, master treats me the best. I can't even finish using all sorts of pills and spirit stones. Seeing the father and daughter can't stop talking, Song Yangzhu quickly aimed and said, Let's go back first. Then Yemo smiled apologetically to Luoying, Qingxue and them before giving everyone a hug. Back at MOU City, Yemo revised a new cultivation method and gave it to Yemo. Then he gave the 12 lightning orbs to her. Her original magic artifact was a low-grade cultivation artifact, lightning chain. This was quite good for her. But compared to the 12 lightning orbs, it was a bit lacking. Yemo was very happy with the 12 lightning orbs. Her equipments greatly changed up too. Her flying cultivation artifact became extreme grade 2. Yemo spoiled Yemo and almost gave all the good things to her. Song Yangzhu and them were even a little envious watching this. Knowing that Yemo was already truth realization state level 7, everyone felt a sense of urgency, even Luoying. He wasn't far from truth realization state level 9, and if he reached truth realization state level 9 and ascended, what would they do? Yiling was the most worried and almost went into solitary cultivation. Su Jinwen felt the easiest, she had the best spirit root and was the strongest amongst them. She was about to reach body condensation state in a while. Everyone desperately wanted to speed up cultivation. Luckily Yemo had a lot of immortal crystals. He couldn't let them use time formation disc without restraint, but it was fine occasionally. Everyone desperately wanted to speed up cultivation. Luckily Yemo had a lot of immortal crystals. He couldn't let them use time formation disc without restraint, but it was fine occasionally. It was fine for Yemo to use the time formation disc as he had bitter bamboo and his mind state would be very stable. But the others couldn't enjoy that. From what happened at the Abyssal River, if he let out the entire bitter bamboo, would the Immortal Realm cultivators know about it too? He didn't dare to take this risk. In order to set up cultivation place, Yemo put in a lot of effort. He set up a spirit nourishing well at the MOU City Lake. Then, he mimicked the Chu 18 discs and set one up. He took out all sorts of pills without restraint. As for immortal crystals, he kept 300 to himself to reach truth realization state peak stage. He split the rest as well. With everyone getting their cultivation resources, they all went into solitary cultivation. Yemo went into solitary cultivation himself. He had never settled to cultivate during his journey. Now that Yemo came back, he breathed easy. The only shame was that Mu Xiaoyan was still nowhere to be seen. He also felt guilty about Luo Xian going missing. He reached Qi Gathering level 4 and got the golden page world due to her, but this cute girl was missing too. Yemo cultivated Heaven Flame 9 Suns, Purple Eye Soul Sever and 5 Element Mobility. He didn't want to increase his cultivation level. He knew that he was Truth Realization State level 7, but it would be extremely hard to find a match on Luoyu continent. He didn't want to go to the Immortal Realm alone. South Peace State seemed to have settled after the Pill City breaking apart, the annihilation of 2 9-star sects, and the incident at the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. Perhaps because too many immortal demon crystals flowed out, and MOU City's Vice City Flowing Snake City sold too many pills, most cultivators went into a solitary cultivation craze. Ning Qingxue named the city Flowing Snake in remembrance of the truly meaningful starting point of their relationship. The name was very average, but the city wanced at all. It was getting more and more prosperous. Any cultivator wanted to come trade here. There were all the pills you wanted here. Even if you wanted Truth Realization Pill and Disaster Life Pill, you could make an order and come to an auction. As long as you had spirit stones or precious materials and spirit herb, you could buy anything from MOU Mall. From essence increasing pill to truth realization pill, from low-grade magic artifact to extreme-grade cultivation artifact, there was only things you couldn't afford, not things you couldn't find. Of course you could choose other merchant associations pills, but for above heaven grade level 4 and middle grade cultivation artifact, you could only go to MOU Mall. Flowing Snake changed the situation in South Peace State, and even the entire Luoyu continent. Truth Spirit Pill that couldn't be bought, an extreme grade cultivation artifact as well as heaven grade level 6 pills could all be bought now. Cultivators from Qi Gathering to Truth Realization State all went to Flowing Snake City. Although more wanted to go to MOU City, but it wasn't easy to settle there. More importantly, one could buy whatever they wanted in Flowing Snake City without needing to worry about being robbed. If this happened, no matter who, would be unable to leave the city and annihilated by city guards. But no one dares to cause trouble here. Everyone knew who the city belonged to. Level 9 Pill King, the person who annihilated 11 Pill City Truth Realization State cultivators by himself, one who annihilated 2 9-star sects and saved countless cultivators from the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, City Lord Yi, Yemo. Meanwhile, the once very prosperous Pill City started to decline. There were less and less people day by day. Some Truth Realization State cultivators even secretly left the Pill City and headed to Flowing Snake to settle. It was only a matter of time before Flowing Snake surpassed Pill City. Yemo settled his mind to go into solitary cultivation to cultivate the Heaven Flame 9 Suns, but he was called out. It was Yu Chi Chao, there was also Ji Ling and Shen Guanqing with him. Even the Truth Realization State Elder Lin Ji came out. Ji Ling passed down the sect leader of all formation sect and stayed at MOU City. What happened? Yemo had a bad feeling. Shen Guanqing said heavily. Other Pill City, the sect leaders of the 9-star sects Jin Gang Temple, Godwind Valley, Black Eye Sect, Clear Dream Mosque, Abstruse Sound Sect, Heaven Demon Sect all came to MOU City. 8-star sects such as Heartless Valley, Heaven Herb Lake, Heaven Star Sect, Golden Sword Sect all came. They're waiting for you at the City Lord Estate Guest Hall. What happened? Yemo frowned. If all the sect leaders of the top-grade sects of South Peace State came, clearly it was no small thing. Yu Chichao. The great disaster of South Peace State is probably here. Countless sand-like spirit beasts have ravaged sections. Quite a few 6-star and below sects have been annihilated. They have this natural ability to devour essence spirit. Sand soul beasts? Yemo was shook. Were they not slaughtered clean? He clearly sealed the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Yu Chichao looked at Yemo strangely. You've seen them before? Are they called sand soul beasts? But there's too many of them, there's about 10 million or more. The highest level is level 10. Yemo breathed easy instead. Luckily he slaughtered them inside the Forbidden Grounds, or they would truly be over. 10 million wasn't enough for him to kill, it was no big deal. This was no cultivation realm disaster, it was done by that guy called Lu Jingchuan. This isn't it, it's said that the fire-eating bug demon appeared again. He appeared at the same time as those sand soul beasts. One in the south, one in the north. He's more cocky than 10,000 years ago. He annihilated more than 10 small sects immediately. On top of that, problems occurred at the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds too. Countless spirit-devouring bugs flew out of the Ice God Forbidden Grounds, and the flames of the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds are reaching out. Although it hadn't harmed any sect yet, but it's sooner or later. If this continues, South Peace State would be dead for sure. Yemo got up abruptly. He was certain that the person knew he took the small sapling. So these disaster that was supposed to occur a few hundred years later occurred now. Then what about the other few states? Yemo began to worry. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't deal with all these himself. Let's go to the guest hall immediately. Yemo got up and said. The MOU City Lord Estate Guest Hall was filled with people. Any of them were very famous in South Peace State, either a sect leader or some 9-star sect elder. But now, they were all anxious and no one wanted to say anything. The MOU City Lord Estate Guest Hall was filled with people. Any of them were very famous in South Peace State, either a sect leader or some 9-star sect elder. But now, they were all anxious and no one wanted to say anything. They were all waiting for someone, and that was MOU City Lord Yemo. No one showed impatience while waiting them. Sorry for making you all wait so long. Yemo appeared at the entrance. Everyone breathed easy, it was good as long as Yemo came. Some were worried about Yemo not wanting to mind this matter because the MOU City defense formation were impeccable. Shan Bingfeng got up and said, Yemo, let me introduce. Yemo quickly saluted with his fists. Okay, thank you, Shan Qianbei. He didn't know most of the people here despite them all knowing him. Shan Bingfeng nodded. Jin Gang Temple Head Monk Xianwei, Black Eye Sect Leader Yan Guan, Godwind Valley Sect Leader Mo Ming, Abstruse Sound Sect Leader Jingfengji, Core Disciple Jinging Meng, Heaven Demon Sect Leader Shiluan Goddess, Elder Li Yao, Golden Sword Sect Leader Wenziren, Ethereal Immortal Pawn Sect Leader Ho Fei Goddess, Heaven Star Sect Leader Ji Shai, Heartless Valley Sect Leader Haiyan, Heaven Herb Lake Sect Leader by Lian. Yemo greeted them all. Ho Fei Goddess was Disaster Transformation State Level 7 and still extremely beautiful. This was the first time Yemo saw Jingfengji, but he had seen the girl behind him, one of South Peace State 10 beauty. Yemo knew Li Yao of Heaven Demon Sect. She helped him quite a bit at Black Eye Sect and was heavily injured for sending him to MOU City. So, Yemo was very hospitable and thankful seeing her. She was a disaster transformation state level 1 cultivator, but her pill was sent over by Yemo. There were a lot of people here, but not many truth realization state cultivators. The strongest was Heaven Demon Sek Shiluan, truth realization state level 7, then Jingfengji truth realization state level 4. Jing Gang Temple Qianwei truth realization state level 3. Godwind Valley Ming and Shan Bingfeng were both truth realization state level 2. The rest were disaster transformation state cultivators. Those who came were representatives, not necessarily the strongest in the sect. After everyone was introduced, Yemo let everyone sit down and took out spirit fruits and spirit wine from his storage ring, sending it to everyone. It was customs to treat guests with spirit fruits. Yemo had large sums of level 6 blue wave fruit, but he couldn't bear to take them out. It was given to him by Yemo. Of course, Yemo wouldn't be taking out low-level things. These spirit fruits were all level 8 snow peaches from West Extreme State. It could cure pill poison while condensing one's cultivation essence. It also tasted very delicious. Its level 8 spirit fruit snow peach. Heaven Herb Lake sect leader Bai Lian was the first to recognize. Who didn't know how precious level 8 spirit fruits were, but MOU City Lord casually took out so many to treat guests. Was he generous, showing off, or just wasting things? Heaven Demon Sect Shiluan Goddess sighed. City Lord Yi, you're really generous. Not only did you use snow peach to treat us, but also top-grade spirit herb-produced cultivation condensation wine. Both are good for removing pill poison and condensing cultivation essence. It seems City Lord knows that the pill poisons in our bodies are still there. Wanshi, thank you. Then, Wanshi got out and bowed. Luan 11 was on par with Ho Fei in terms of looks and looked even more vibrant. Yemo could tell that although this woman was truth realization state level 7, she was on par with ordinary truth realization state level 9. Seeing this, everyone all came out to thank Yemo. Yemo signaled them to sit down before saying, I've seen those sand beasts, they're called sand soul beasts. I've killed quite a lot in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, but I didn't expect more to come out. Their main method of attack is soul devour. They could destabilize cultivator essence spirit. If you can't resist the soul devour, then the only way is to kill it quickly. So they're sand soul beasts. City Lord Yi, your method is good, but you don't know how many there are. There's just too many, there's 10 million. With this many, they can easily annihilate South Peace State. We can't kill that many at one time. Heartless Valley Hyan said. Hyan was a female cultivator, but she was far from as good looking as Ho Fei and Luan 11. She wasn't scorning Yemo, but it was striking his face a little. Yemo didn't care, those sand soul beasts were nothing. He killed a few 100 million in the Forbidden Grounds before, otherwise the sect leader wouldn't be sitting here talking to him like this. But Yemo didn't say that as it was too shocking. People can't even begin to imagine how powerful his cultivation essence and illusion cloud domain kill strike was. Yen Guan was scared high and would anger Yemo, so he quickly said, The greatest danger is currently the soul sand beasts. As for the fire-eating bug demon, we heard he annihilated 6-star sect Ju Fu Mountain. We don't know why he's staying there, but he's the least worry now. Yemo nodded. In that case, then please all go stop the flames of Flame Sea from spilling. If you guys can stop it for half a month, I can annihilate the sand soul beasts and the spirit-devouring bugs and then make way to see Flame Forbidden Grounds. You're going to deal with the sand soul beasts and spirit-devouring bugs by yourself? A clear voice sounded in the hall. It was full of disbelief. Menger, don't be rude. Jing Fengji was prideful, but he knew Yemo's power greatly. He apologized to Yemo. My daughter has not seen the bigger world, please forgive her, City Lord Yi. Yemo waved his hand. If everyone trusts me, we'll do this. Otherwise, hesitating for longer would only result in more sects being annihilated and countless cultivators dying. I agree with City Lord Ye's opinion, but I can bring my Jin Gang Temple people to stop the spirit-devouring bugs for 7 days. If City Lord Yi can support me within 7 days, we would be fine. I think the rest of the people should follow City Lord Ye's will and go stop the flame sea eruptions. Jin Gang Temple Qianwei got up and supported. I agreed to City Lord Yi and Qianwei head monk. Shan Bingfeng conformed. With these two agreeing, the rest all got up and agreed. Some people were dubious, but no one said anything. After all, EMO did kill 11 truth realization state cultivators in a row. Who was to be sure he couldn't annihilate the sand soul beasts? Plus, according to EMO, he had encountered them before. Yimo said, "In that case, let's go to work. Where are the sand soul beasts?" "They're at the extreme south, Qinghai sect. After annihilating them, they're heading towards middle of South Peace State. They're probably entered the mainland now. The spirit-devouring bugs are near the first mainland sect, Ice Sword sect. We've notified the sect's people to leave. We don't exactly know where they are, but wherever they pass, no life exists." Golden Sword sect leader Wen Ziren replied. "In that case, let's move out now," Yemo said without hesitation. When everyone had left, Yemo told Yu Qichao and Ji Ling and them to not leave MOU City no matter what. If something happened at MOU City, they should send messenger Flying Sword to him immediately. To EMO, South Peace State was important, but MOU City was more important. After that, EMO released Blue Moon and left MOU City heading towards Sanghai Sect. EMO didn't immediately go to Qinghai Sect after leaving MOU City. He went to the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. EMO didn't immediately go to Qinghai Sect after leaving MOU City. He went to the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. If these sand soul beasts all came out of the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, he would immediately seal that place. It was easy to kill sand soul beasts, but if he didn't cut the disaster from the source. As soon as EMO came out of the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, EMO knew that these sand soul beasts didn't come from the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds. The seal was perfect, and there was no way sand soul beasts from there. EMO frowned. If there was another place like the Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds with also a few 100 million sand soul beasts, what would happen if they all came out? Qinghai Sect was on the south, but it was very far from the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Ice God Forbidden Grounds was extreme south near west. Qinghai Sect was extreme south near east. Qinghai Sect was just a 6-star sect. It was near the border, and not very famous in South Peace State. At this moment, there was not even a wild beast there, much less surviving cultivators. There was only huge-mouthed spirit beasts that were made up of fine sands. The bodies of these spirit beasts were everywhere. There were a few 100,000 of them. The nearest sect to the Qinghai Sect was Fusion Joy Sect. This was a 7-star sect. But at this sect, everyone had a pale face because outside the sect defense formation, it was filled with densely cluttered sand soul beasts. No one could count how many sand soul beasts there were. The Fusion Joy Sect leader was beginning to regret that he didn't leave in time. He knew this wasn't his fault. How could a 7-star sect just easily give up their sect grounds? Plus, their defense formation is on par with 9-star sect. It was level 9 peak defense formation. The sect had a few thousand cultivators too. It should be fine to use the defense formation to defend against the sand soul beast's onslaught for half a month. If they do, then the big sects from the South Peace State would come to support them. After all, the news they got was that there would be no more than a few million sand soul beasts. Now, everyone in the sect realized how big this mistake was. This wasn't a few million sand soul beasts, this was at least 70 million sand soul beasts. There were endless waves of sand soul beasts. Now, not just the ground but the sky above the sect was filled with sand soul beasts. These sand soul beasts kept coming over, a large gray patch. One couldn't even see the sky. Even with the level 9 defense formation, they wouldn't be able to last half a day, and this was mainly because only a limited number of sand soul beasts could attack the formation. Otherwise, even if a tenth of all the South Peace State cultivators came, they would be heavily injured. Yemo didn't stop at Qinghai Sect and immediately chased off at the direction the sand soul beasts went. On the way, he saw a few destroyed cultivation cities. By the time Emo got to Fusion Joy sect, their defense formation was about to fall. He had heard of this sect as there was a female cultivator called Du Xiuying in here, one of South Peace State 10 beauties. Looking at the dense cluster of sand soul beasts, Emo realized that Golden Sword sect when Xiren's intel was completely garbage. There wasn't just a few million here, there was about 100 million. Emo was shook. If South Peace State cultivators can't gather together quickly, these sand soul beasts would be enough to gradually annihilate the South Peace State. Luckily, he came here in time. After he annihilated these sand soul beasts, he would have to find out where they came from. To Emo, he didn't really care how many sand soul beasts there were. His illusion Cloud 8 strike was for mass slaughter. As soon as Emo came, countless sand soul beasts charged at him. In the defense formation, almost all the sect members came out. Without the help of all these cultivators, this formation wouldn't even be able to last 15 minutes under these attacks. Du Xiuming bit her lips. She really didn't want to die like that, but faced against so many sand soul beasts, she felt a sense of relief. As one of the South Peace State 10 beauties, her sect was the weakest. Even Qiu Shui was in Green Pill sect and had a higher status than her. On nicer terms, Fusion Joy sect was a 7-star sect, but the truth was that they were a sect that relied on dual cultivation. Originally, a proper dual cultivation sect was fine. As long as the man and woman chose to be Dao partners, then it was natural for them to dual cultivate. But the Fusion Joy sect today completely goes beyond the line. The male and female cultivators in the second are just completely promiscuous. Other than a few cultivators who dislike this, most cultivators don't even care who their dual cultivation partner is. They could change one every day as long as it improved their power. She being one of the South Peace State 10 beauties with a very high talent, there were countless people who wanted to dual cultivate with her. If it wasn't that her master was a cauldron-filling state cultivator of the sect, and she was hollow spirit state, it was almost impossible to preserve her virginity. Sometimes she would rather be a demon cultivator than be in this sect. The reason she hadn't left the sect up until now was that she didn't have the courage to bring this up. She owed the sect. When her family was destroyed, the sect saved her father and her. She was treated very well by the sect. She was one of the most important core disciples. If she left the sect now, even if the sect agreed, she would bear the name of a traitor and a wolf. Martial Sister Xiuying, what are you thinking about? A tall, long-faced cultivator suddenly walked next to her and asked. Du Xiuying frowned. This was her martial brother Wang Pang. He had to bother her to dual cultivate with her. He was hollow spirit state level 6 power, while she was only hollow spirit state level 4. Wang Chan said shakily. Martial Sister Xiuying, now that so many sand soul beasts are attacking our sect, I believe our sect can't change this no matter what. Xiuying. I've always loved you. Since we're going to die anyways, we might as well. A sliver of disgust flashed across her eyes and she suddenly breathed easy. She felt what was a better time to leave the sect than now. Seeing Du Xiuying breathe easy, Wang Pang said joyfully. Xiuying, you agree? People looked over and some female cultivator sneered in contempt. She acts like a goddess usually, and now that she knows she can't live she still wants to enjoy. Du Xiuying didn't seem to hear this. She walked to the sect leader and took out her storage ring and magic artifact. Xiuying, thank Fusion Joy sect for saving me and my father. Now, I wish to leave the sect. Sect leader, please allow this. Everyone looked dazedly at her. No one expected her to do this at this moment. Wang Pang's face burst red. He didn't expect his confession of love further strengthened her decision to leave the sect. The sect leader frowned and his face went cold. She was one of the most talented sect members and the sect didn't treat her badly. Why did she decide to leave the sect now? But seeing the storage ring and magic artifact on the ground, the sect leader realized that she knew she would die for sure and she wouldn't be considered a traitor if she left the sect now. It seemed she had long wanted to leave but couldn't make the decision. Your master had left the sect 5 years ago and there's still no news. Okay, no one can live today anyways, so I might as well let you. As for your storage ring and magic artifact, take it. When the formation breaks, even if you can't run away from the Sand Soul beasts, having your magic artifact means you still a sliver of chance. Sigh, your master had left the sect 5 years ago and there's still no news. Okay, no one can live today anyways, so I might as well let you. As for your storage ring and magic artifact, take it. When the formation breaks, even if you can't run away from the Sand Soul beasts, having your magic artifact means you still a sliver of chance. Du Xiuying quickly bowed a few times and said, Thank you, sect leader. Xiuying owes the sect greatly. The magic artifact and things inside the storage ring top grade. Xiuying has left the sect. I can't take these. Then, Du Xiuying left and went to the far side. Staring into Sand Soul beasts, her heart felt calm. However, she stood far away. She was a hollow spirit state level 4 cultivator. She didn't have any magic artifact. It was impossible for her to fight her way out. Seeing this, the sect leader sighed. The elders sighed too. No one was dumb. They knew why she left. What she did was completely opposite to what the sect did. They were a dual cultivation sect, and yet she didn't cultivate dual cultivation and made friends with unimportant people. Was what the sect was doing right? From the elders to the sect leader, they were all thinking about this problem. But soon, they cast the thought aside. Now that the sect was going to be annihilated, what was the point of thinking about this? Wait, someone seems to be coming over to help. One elder's spirit sense scanned Emo. All the cultivators above Golden Core State saw Emo come. Just one person? Another elder added in disbelief. The heart of joy dissipated. There was no way one person could kill all these Sand Soul beasts. He would eventually be devoured. Emo had experience in killing these Sand Soul beasts. He knew that once they chose a target, they wouldn't stop until they killed the target. This was very scary to others, but to Emo, nothing was better than this. He wanted them to all squirm up and attack him. Zisu was released and the illusion cloud domain kill strike swung around like a huge sword. In his sword domain, not a single Sand Soul beast could live, not even level 10 Sand Soul beasts. The sword ray had expanded out to nearly 1 kilometer. This terrifying sword ray was like a harvesting machine. The Sand Soul beasts around Emo instantly cleared. However, how could 100 million Sand Soul beasts be killed so easily? Instantly, this empty space was filled again. The purple flower sprouted again until it became a huge purple lotus. With Emo being the center, the flower sprouted out and quickly moved towards the center of the Sand Soul beast's tide. The Sand Soul beast shrieked. The empty space only lasted a few seconds and were filled again. The originally disappointed Fusion Joy sect members were completely dazed now. This wasn't a battle, this was harvesting crops. Was this person even a cultivation realm cultivator? Amidst this many Sand Soul beasts, not only could he keep his essence spirit stable but also harvest large packs of Sand Soul beasts. Just who was this? The Sand Soul beasts soon left the sect's defense formation and charged at Emo, but they all turned to bodies. Seeing the dead Sand Soul beasts' bodies gradually form small mountains and then mountain ranges, all the Fusion Joy sect members fell silent. There was only excited panting. Just who is this? The sect leader murmured. Sect leader, the Sand Soul beasts retreated, one elder said. Should we retreat now? One cauldron-filling state elder asked. Everyone knew this was the best opportunity to leave. If they left after the Sand Soul beasts annihilated that person, it would be too late. I don't think it's necessary. That cultivator is too terrifying. His purple sword technique is insane. Even with the 100 million Sand Soul beasts, I don't think it's enough for him to kill, an elder said. The sect leader frowned. He didn't know what to do. If those Sand Soul beasts gathered around again, the sect would be annihilated for sure. That cultivator was powerful but was by himself. His cultivation essence and spirit sense were limited. He wouldn't be able to last that long. I know who that person is, a body condensation state said. He called in excitement. It's MOU City Lord Ye MO City Lord Ye killed 11 Truth Realization State cultivators in a row and easily annihilated the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect. He's the strongest in South Peace State. He's on par with Chu Jiuyu from many years ago. Now that he's here, our sect is saved. It's actually Yemo? The sect leader just realized and immediately said, "Everyone prepare to release magic artifact and fight with the Sand Soul Beasts. We'll guard the formation now and cheer Yiqian Bei on." There was still hope of escaping the instant Yemo was killed, but if they dared to run away first when the city lord of MOU City came to help them, then they would be dead for sure. It's actually him? Du Xiuying looked at the purple rays in awe. She knew that although her sect members called him Qianbei, but she knew he wasn't younger than her. The thing she had been hearing the most was legends about Yemo Pill King Tournament No. 1, killing 11 Truth Realization State of Pill City, annihilated 9-star sect, saving countless cultivators from the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Any one of them was heavenly shocking. Seeing that large area of Sand Soul Beasts being wiped out by Yemo's purple ray, Du Xiuying had a sudden worry. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to die. If she didn't die and left the sect, what would happen? She subconsciously looked at the sect leader and elders, but everyone was too excited. No one wanted to die. The more Yemo slaughtered, the more satisfaction he felt. With this dense cluster, one strike could kill 10,000 or more. But as there were less and less Sand Soul Beasts, he killed less per swing. Sometimes, it was only a few hundred. There were a lot of Sand Soul Beasts, but it still couldn't compare with the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. Later on, the Sand Soul Beast felt scared but still kept charging at Yemo, but with a slower speed. Thus, Yemo released Illusion Cloud Division Strike and the countless lightning arcs. Yemo tried to kill them quickly as he knew things wouldn't be so simple. He had to find the place where these Sand Soul Beasts came from. Otherwise, it's uncertain if the monks of Jin Gang Temple could even last that long. Yemo quite approved of Qian Wei to offer to stop the spirit-devouring bugs. He had seen how powerful they were. The ones he annihilated in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds were probably just one part. Yemo quite approved of Qian Wei to offer to stop the spirit-devouring bugs. He had seen how powerful they were. The ones he annihilated in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds were probably just one part. After he annihilated the Sand Soul Beasts, he had to reinforce the monks of Jin Gang Temple. Seeing nearly 100 million Sand Soul Beasts die to Yemo's purple sword rays and Yemo releasing countless lightning arcs, the Fusion Joy sect cultivators forgot to be amazed. They were scared. To them, MOU City Lord's power was indescribable. No wonder the Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect were annihilated. They chose such an opponent. Half a day later, the countless Sand Soul Beasts' bodies had piled up to an endless mountain range. Yemo stood on top of the mountain range and sighed. Last time in the demon prison Forbidden Grounds, he would need more than half a day to kill this many Sand Soul Beasts, but today, he used less than half a day. Clearly, his Illusion Cloud Domain kill strike was getting more and more powerful. By the time the cultivators reacted, they realized that all the Sand Soul Beasts had been annihilated clean by the purple sword rays and lightning arcs. The cultivators all came over and Yemo put away Zisu. Fusion Joy Sect Yu Jiyong Reet City Lord Yi, thank you enduring the labor to come. Yemo waved his hand and stopped him. It's nothing, Fusion Joy Sect has been here for quite some years. Do you know what place around here has dense yin qi? Yemo thought for a while and couldn't find a better way to describe it, so he said, a place like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds that can birth evil spirits. Sand Soul Beasts needed evil spirits to reproduce and grow quickly. Yemo guessed that they would be living in a place with dense yin qi. Yu Jiyong didn't expect Yemo to ask such a strange question, and he didn't know how to answer. He really didn't know where had a lot of yin qi. Even if there was, there wouldn't be evil spirits. Evil spirits were powerful enough to kill Truth Realization State. Yu Jiyong was very anxious. He didn't know the first question that City Lord Yi asked him. If he knew the answer, the city lord would have a great impression of him. I know. At this moment, a voice helped him. Emo rejoiced. To be honest, he didn't have much hope when asking. After all, even if there was a place with evil spirits, the person wouldn't be able to live to tell the story. Du Shuing got up and bowed. City Lord Yi, I know that place. Such a beautiful female cultivator, Emo was surprised to see that she was not only beautiful but also talented. She was no older than Luoying but was Hollow Spirit State Level 4. However, Emo was strange to see that she didn't have a storage ring and only had a storage bag on her. The Fusion Joy sect couldn't be this poor. When he saw that nascent Soul State and even Golden Core State cultivators had storage ring, he knew she was a special case. Yu Ji-young rejoiced hearing her words and just wanted to say something, but Du Shuing walked up to him and bowed. Shuing, thanks City Lord for taking me in. Although I'm not a sect members of Fusion Joy sect anymore, I'm very grateful for the sect's teachings and resources. Yu Ji-young didn't feel too happy, he just wanted to say she was his core sect members. You're Du Shuing? One of South Peace State 10 beauties? Emo thought no wonder she was so beautiful, but it seemed she had left the sect. Du Shuing immediately answered in joy. Yes, City Lord Yi. Yu Ji-young saw there was nothing he could suck up to Emo with, so he said, That's right, City Lord Yi. Shuing has been our sect members. She thought she would certainly die to the Sand Soul Beast's attacks, so she left the sect, but now that they have retreated, she can come back at any time. Du Shuing didn't dare to argue back. Everyone knew she didn't want to go back, but the sect leader said this. She didn't dare to say she wanted to leave the sect in front of City Lord Yi, or he might feel extremely disgusted to her. But if she stayed, she wouldn't have the same treatment as before. She might even fall to the status of an outer sect members. In the sect, the outer sect members had to dual cultivate with inner sect members if they wanted. She was waiting for Emo to get her to lead the way. If she left, she would never come back. Emo sneered. He wouldn't care about this, but this sect leader thought of him as an idiot. This made him very unhappy. How could he not understand what was going on? She wasn't an idiot. Why would she choose to leave the sect before she died? If Yu Ji-young didn't do that, he wouldn't be bothered saying anything and would at most let her lead the way. But now, this made Emo furious. How dare Yu Ji-young use him? Emo said calmly. Since you're not a Fusio Joy sect members, you can come with me. Yes. There was joy in her eyes. She could tell Emo was helping her, and immediately walked out without hesitation. Hearing Emo's tone go cold, Yu Ji-young was scared, sweating. He really didn't want to use Emo, but now, he realized how stupid his actions were. He wanted to apologize, but Emo couldn't be bothered seeing him, and just left with Du Shuing in Blue Moon. Thank you, City Lord Yi. Du Shuing wants dumb. Emo waved his hand. No need, tell me where the place with evil spirits are. Du Shuing nodded. I'm not certain if that is the place City Lord Yi is looking for, but it indeed has heavy in chi and I don't dare to go in at all. Tell me about the exact situation. I'll go in and check. Emo said. Du Shuing said. I was only 13 at the time and my parents were hunted by enemies and they all died at the CI mountain. Just when I was about to be raped and killed, my adoptive father suddenly charged out from the icy river. I didn't know him at the time, but seeing that they were about to rape a 13-year-old girl, he was furious. He killed that person, but he hadn't cultivated immortal cultivation before. He cultivated ancient martial arts. The person he killed was Chi gathering level 4. He killed him and helped me bury my parents. When he took me away, he was injured by the Yin Chi and had never recovered. He died a year later. Emo nodded. Are you going to take me to the place your adoptive father was injured? Yes. Du Shuing immediately answered. After he was injured by the Yin Chi, he didn't have the strength to take me away. I was very young, but I knew it wasn't a place to stay, so I carried him away. But I was too young and couldn't go very far. At this moment, the enemies came again, and just when we were about to be killed, I was saved by my master. My master took us to the sect, but even my master couldn't cure my adoptive father. Your adoptive father died a year later? Yemo noticed something wrong and asked. Du Xiuying nodded. Yes, but adoptive father called my master in before he died. He told my master to burn him instantly with inner fire. My master agreed. Yemo breathed easy and nodded. Your adoptive father is a very great man. Why are you fine since you went there too? Yemo looked at her in confusion. I didn't know at the time, but I realized later. It's probably because I have a purine body, Du Xiuying said quietly. Due to her body, countless people wanted her in the sect. I didn't know at the time, but I realized later. It's probably because I have a purine body, Du Xiuying said quietly. Due to her body, countless people wanted her in the sect. Yemo suddenly grabbed her wrist. Du Xiuying didn't move as she knew Yemo was checking her body type. Indeed, a purine body. Yemo fell silent, but he had never heard of purine body being immune to evil yin qi. There must be another reason she was safe, but he couldn't really check her body. After my master left, I never had the opportunity to leave. This time, I can bury the ashes of my adoptive father with my parents. He isn't from Luoyu continent. He died saving me, Du Xiuying's tone was despondent. Your adoptive father wasn't from Luoyu continent? Yemo asked in confusion. Du Xiuying said. Yes, he said he came from the magical continent, but it wasn't from any of Luoyu's states. There, people cultivate ancient martial arts, not immortal cultivation. He said he came here was because there was a problem with the teleportation formation. He was teleported to a place called Xianjia Mountain. He knew what it was, but he couldn't get out. After staying there for a few days, he went on another teleportation formation. He was just testing it, but it activated. What's your adoptive father's name? Yemo asked again. He's called Yundongxia. Yemo immediately remembered who this person was. He was Yunzi's father, the association leader of Magical Commercial Association. The teleportation formation he took in the small world suddenly exploded. Yemo didn't expect him to go to Xianjia Mountain and then Luoyu continent. Meanwhile, Yunzi asked him to help find her father, but he was actually long dead. Thinking about this, Yemo exclaimed, Yunzi's Sword Valley was also annihilated and she was nowhere to be found. Yemo had decided to find Yunzi when things were over and send her to Mou City. Her disappearance was also related to him. Adoptive father said he has a daughter called Yunzi, but I don't know where the magical continent is and I can't help him. Yemo fell silent and comforted after a while. Don't worry, cultivate hard and there will be a day when you meet each other. We're here. Blue Moon was too fast. Blue Moon landed at a place with little spirit chi. There were thorns everywhere and very little vegetation. Du Xiuying pointed at the Ci mountain. Adoptive father took me from there. After this mountain is an icy river, he was hurt by the yin qi between the river and this road. Yemo saw that she only had a storage bag and no magic artifact, so he casually took out a storage ring and threw a few things inside. You can have this storage ring. I don't know your adoptive father, but I know Yunzi, she's a friend. She just wanted to reject, but hearing Yemo knew Yunzi, she looked at Yemo in shock. City Lord Yi, you know Sister Z? Where is she? Yemo said sadly. She was a Sword Valley disciple, but due to me, the Infinity Sect annihilated the Sword Valley and she went missing. No wonder you annihilated the Infinity Sect. Du Xiuying murmured and suddenly bowed to Yemo. Thank you for telling me Sister Z came to South Peace State. I'm going to find her now. Yemo waved his hand. Your power is not enough to roam South Peace State. Plus, there's great calamity in South Peace State now. Danger is everywhere. I will go find her after I'm done with things. If you trust me, go to Mou City and cultivate. I believe with your talent it's not hard to reach truth realization state. When your power is high enough, if I still haven't found Yunzi, you can go find her. Du Xiuying calmed down and knew that everything Yemo said was true. Xiuying thanks City Lord Yi greatly. Du Shuiying knew that Yemo probably took her in due to his guilt over Yunzi. At the same time, she missed her adoptive father. He lost his life to save her, and now due to his daughter, she had a place to stay. If one day she was powerful, she would find Sister Z at all costs. If she couldn't, she would kill all who made her disappear. In order to strengthen her will, she put the storage ring on, but when she scanned her spirit sense inside, she took it off in shock. City Lord Yi, this is too precious. Even the magic artifacts were top-grade cultivation artifacts, much less the pills and spirit stones. Yemo waved his hand. Take it and cultivate hard. If I can't find Yunzi, you still need to find her. In the South Peace State, no power means no right to talk. Plus, these things don't mean much to me. After hesitating, Yemo took out a jade slip and gave it to her. This is a cultivation method written by a cultivator called Mengzhe. Just cultivate that. Primordial Chaos Chant? Du Shuiying read the words. That's right. Yemo nodded. She would be much faster in cultivation if she cultivated this. Du Shuiying took it and didn't say any more. She knew it was pointless to say thank you now. Yemo saw this and was rather pleased. Her talent was top-notch and was very decisive. Her progress was on par with Su Jingwen. Plus, Yunzi had no family on Luoyu continent. He couldn't use all his efforts to search for her. Perhaps Du Shuiying was needed to find her. City Lord Yi. Yemo shook his head. I'm a little older than Z. Just call me brother like her. Stand back, let me check here. Yes, Brother Yi. She was worried about Yunzi, but meeting the City Lord of Mou City was something one experienced only once in a lifetime. Even she was excited, more excited than she was at Yemo giving her top-grade cultivation artifact. Yemo searched carefully with his spirit sense. The area was large, but Yemo's spirit sense was too powerful. In a short while, he had completely searched the place. This place seemed fine. Just when Yemo wanted to release Miss Lotus Heart Fire to burn all the thorns, there was an explosion in one corner. A huge hole appeared out of nowhere, and countless sand soul beasts swarmed out. There seemed to be more than the number that attacked the Fusion Joy sect. Yemo immediately realized that this was a top-grade illusion formation. The sand soul beasts were indeed below the CI mountain. When the sand soul beasts left, the illusion formation immediately recovered, turning everything into thorns. Seeing so many sand soul beasts pop out, Du Shuiying didn't know what to do. Seeing this, Yemo immediately knew that the previous round was just a herald. Luckily he came in time, or else there might be more sand soul beasts here than the demon prison forbidden grounds. Before Du Shuiying could react, Yemo took her to the entrance of the illusion formation. At the same time, Zisu was released. The million sand soul beasts were instantly slaughtered clean by Yemo. Yemo released a few formation flags and sealed this entrance. Before Du Shuiying could react, Yemo took her to the entrance of the illusion formation. At the same time, Zisu was released. The million sand soul beasts were instantly slaughtered clean by Yemo. Yemo released a few formation flags and sealed this entrance. Then Yemo turned to her and said, I'm going down to annihilate them. There should be a few 100 million down there. Leave first, you can go directly to Mou City. Du Shuiying opened her mouth and wanted to say something but eventually didn't. She nodded and said, Okay. Yemo didn't mind and set up a few trap formation and disappeared into the illusion formation. Du Shuiying didn't understand formation and could only retreat to the outskirts of the CI mountain. She didn't go to Mou City like she was told. Hearing there were a few 100 million sand soul beasts, she was worried about Yemo but couldn't say it. Thus, she could only wait here. After entering, Yemo immediately saw a seal. It was the same type of seal as the ones in the demon prison forbidden grounds. Clearly, it was set by the same person. Yemo immediately thought of Lu Jingquan, but he didn't break the seal and go inside. Instead, he started to study it. It was very high level and not something a level 9 formation Grand Master could set up. But Yemo had seen this type so many times. He checked it, and immediately knew his guess was right. This seal was suddenly activated, meaning that it was activated before the timer set. It seemed him taking the sapling really pissed off that guy in the immortal realm. That guy probably couldn't come down, so he had to activate the seal. Yemo broke the seal without hesitation and set up a new seal. Then, he went inside along the seal. This place was just like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. There was a sand stairway leading down. As soon as Yemo got on the stairs, a few hundred sand soul beasts surrounded him. Yemo slaughtered his way down. In a short while, countless sand soul beasts had died to his sword. When Yemo got down the stairs, he saw a blue rock road leading into the distance and dazed. Wasn't this the blue rock road behind the Demon Prison 3 Birth Bridge? When he took the seal flag and the road disappeared, Yemo had a strong feeling that the place was dangerous to him, and he couldn't keep staying. So, he took Jingingli and left without hesitation. He even sealed that place. How come he saw the blue rock path here? Was this the other side of it? Yemo suddenly felt his skin crawling. He knew this road was probably an illusion, but no matter how he looked at it, it really extended into the distance. Countless sand soul beasts emerged from the end of the road. Yemo stayed on the last step and didn't go down. His next step would be on the blue stone road, but he felt the road was too eerie. Even though he didn't go down, there seemed to be an endless calling from the other side of the road. It seemed to be a familiar voice one moment, but then completely strange another moment. It was an unfamiliar voice. That calling wanted him to quickly get on the road and keep going forward. Yemo forced his brain to stay awake. He believed that if it was some other person, he would have crippled already. If there weren't sand soul beasts there, Yemo would leave without hesitation and seal it like the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. But now, he couldn't go, he had to annihilate them all. Who knew if they could pop out from some other place? The safest way was to kill him all. The howls and screams of the sand soul beasts mixed as they charged at Yemo, completely surrounding him. Yemo released Zisu and started the carnage. Yemo completely stopped the sand soul beasts from coming onto the stairs. But as he killed more, the less Yemo cared. All he knew was to release purple sword rays like crazy as he killed the sand soul beasts. Eventually, Yemo completely forgot what he was doing. He was just slaughtering sand soul beasts like a machine. He completely didn't notice that he had long come off the stairs and stood on the blue stone road. He killed his way over. There were countless sand soul beasts' bodies around him. Now Yemo was just waving Zisu frantically, but the sand soul beasts around him were all dead. However, his eyes were red and he had no intentions of stopping. When his cultivation essence ran out, he took out pills without hesitation and even took out immortal crystals. Then, he waved Zisu around space that had no sand soul beasts. Rumble. After absorbing immortal crystals, Yemo felt his meridians about to explode. A powerful immortal spirit chi charged into his dantian. This made him wake up momentarily. Yemo shivered and went into the Golden Page world without hesitation. Truth Realization State Level 8. The instant he reached Truth Realization State Level 8, he woke up and went into the Golden Page world. If he didn't have the Golden Page world, he would fall into that crazy state once again. So powerful, Yemo was shook. He finally knew the power of immortals. He didn't even fight them, and that person just set a formation here, and he almost died. Yemo sat next to the bitter bamboo and exerted out the evil yin chi inside his body. A dark gray mist emitted out of his body, and was burned by the mist lotus heart fire. Half a day later, Yemo was completely awake. He threw out a surveillance formation. There was endless piles of bodies, but no blue stone road nor stairway. This meant that he had long gone off the stairs and went onto the road. If he didn't have a lot of immortal crystals and reached Truth Realization State Level 8, he would have lost himself already. Yemo checked his immortal crystals quickly. He had used up nearly 200 immortal crystals in that go. This was too scary. In this place, Yemo didn't dare to take out bitter bamboo leaf. He didn't want the bitter bamboo chi to leak out. Emo came out carefully and found that the Blue Rock Road appeared again. Emo shivered and was ready to go into the Golden Page world at any time. Then he released Zisu and checked around carefully. He didn't know where he came from. He couldn't scan the end of the road ahead and behind him. This was the first time Emo had seen an illusion formation this terrifying. He didn't know whether to go forward or backward. Emo retreated 2 steps and suddenly saw a huge stone tablet on the side of the road. It had the bloody words Blue Rock Netherworld Road. Emo immediately thought of the 3-berth bridge and he was furious. He released Zisu and hacked on the stone tablet. Seeing that Zisu was about to strike it, Emo suddenly had an extremely bad feeling and he forcefully stopped the strike and moved it to the side. With this, there was a powerful backlash and he spat blood out. Emo waved his hand and the blood turned to mist. The purple sword rays slid past the stone tablet and onto the Blue Rock Road. It immediately splattered apart. Seeing this, Emo was confused. This blue road didn't seem to be an illusion. Emo calmed down instead. He only had one thought, and that was to leave. Whether it was to help the Ji Gang Temple monks or his current power, he couldn't stay here. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.